Alright, hello everybody. It's Eternal Super League Week 7. Pretty happy. I'm here with the Warlock.
Hello, hello.
I think people should hear you, yes? Alright. So we
Awesome.
have a great week coming up. It was the week where people could swap up their IDs. Do you want to talk about those first here before we actually get into the games?
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. First of all, I want to just say if I sound a little weird to the people, I'm recovering from a bit of a cold, so that's why my voice might be a little off today. So on the corp side, we've lost basically every faction that wasn't HB or Wayland. We have 4 CIs, one Thule and one Engineer in the future, and on the other side we have one Scorpius, one Op, and one Blue Sun. So weird split on that one, definitely.
Yeah, interest. I think people switching up, finding the CI deck kind of busted, and switching up these ideas that kind of fall into the World Review, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. That's something that people might be taken into. Although on the other side, we don't see that many World Review. I think we are
Exactly.
seeing only one Cabaneza sticking through,
Hmm.
and a bunch of Anarch this time around. No, not even a single criminal. So all the Andromedas that were played in phase one now kind of disappeared over time. But we have one Apex, which is
Yeah,
definitely a surprise for me.
definitely. I think it's. I know the player, so cannot say too much yet. But really interested to see how this Apex deck actually does. And otherwise, people just pivoting into basically wizard decks. Apparently, I think this might be an option to beat actually these CI decks. Do you think?
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what Wizard brings to beat CI. I've
Mhm.
seen a fair bit of different tech choices between importing CBI rate from
Yep.
Criminal, or I've seen people play on what's his face Archives interface to kind of get rid of the YDLs in the bin so
Oh
they
yeah,
can't
true.
recur it. That's another thing I've seen floating around over the
Yeah,
weeks.
that also works as I guess IG deck, so totally could be fair.
Yeah,
Also, Wizard, I think in general, just playing like counters, clan vengeance and everything, is quite a lot of disruption for these combo turns. Although
absolutely.
modern CI has kind of found the tech choices to beat those kind of things in some sense. Otherwise, Corp field kind of mixed, just one of each ID basically.
Yeah.
I
Outside
think,
of CIA, everybody kind of bringing something different. And a few of these are actually fairly weird. I want to say I don't think I've seen a two-lane Eternal for a while, so I'm curious to seeing what that ends up bringing to the table.
yeah, I think the biggest include here is I think Blue Sun. I think we have not seen it in the tournament yet, but I know Ba has been putting in a lot of work with the ID and trying to prove that it's actually really functional.
Yeah, it's same way as MT in some ways, where it brings a very different kind of problem for the runner to solve with all these big eyes that each runner has to deal with. So there's definitely something that goes against maybe the light ice and more combo centric that we've seen in phase two. So it'd be
Hmm.
interesting in seeing how the runners tackle this new challenge.
Yeah, definitely. With that being said, do you want to start jumping into the games?
Yeah, let's go.
I know that the daylight savings is today, so we're kind of trying to. I'm kind of trying to get us through these games a bit on the faster pace.
Let's
Uh,
start with what I think is going to be a banger, which is Hevro fun sides of the Apex versus Engineering the Future against Silent
Alright.
Arbiter.
Oh yeah, I have to pull up the thing for actually seeing the cards.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I paused the game. Well, meanwhile, I think I can talk a bit about the matchup, which is I think kind of hard to say. I have no clue what the Apex is gonna do. And on the other side, Engineering the Future kind of a vanilla ID that can do a lot of things. We'll see if this ends up being a more defensive food coat style build or a more asset style kind of creation from Silent Arbiter, who is fairly known in the league for bringing very spicy decks
mhm.
over time.
Alright, I think we can start the match
You
here.
good to go?
Yep, 100%.
Let's. Alrighty. So we have
Yes.
a interesting starting hand from Alex here. Double gamble is pretty good.
I mean, Matryoshka
The
probably your breaker of choice. a solid
Yeah,
AI
that makes
breaker,
sense.
I think. And Jobbot is basically Apex as like one of the key econ pieces, I think, with being able to trust those face down cards that you can install. But like, even if I'm Alex, I'm not happy into going silent arbiter in unknown decks.
Yeah, facing Silent Arbiter in the first week of the phase is definitely the scariest moment. You don't get to wait and see what he's bringing to the table.
Yeah, definitely could be anything under the sun basically included here. Oh, starting
And we
with the
see,
safe Estel Moons. Just the
yeah,
basic start here.
3 points worth of eternal points, but definitely a good way of making some money and some draw. Alex installs the Matryoshka face down and decides he's not gonna need a lot of programs to deal with ice, given the start from Silent Arbiter maybe.
You probably also can get it back with installing this chop bot and thrashing it and somehow recurring it if you actually need it too badly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, looking at the start from ETF, I think that basically signals me that it's some sort of an asset list, I think. But
Yeah,
who
a
actually
few
knows yet?
few pieces of ice here and there. We see Silent protecting his central servers, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see more installs. And yeah, with the Friends and I places,
Oh yeah,
uh,
definitely. That feels
face
so bad
down.
when you trash a
Yeah,
Jeeves just to get it back online instantly.
really powerful card. Very good start from Silent in this one, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And now Pavrofan kind of has to find the answers to actually be able to contest this table.
He has a bit of an engine, but Silent risks going way off and kind of making a board that's hard to deal with if Alex doesn't challenges quickly.
Yeah, 100%. Deciding to get rid of the Chiefs first?
I'm not sure. I think he hasn't breached yet, so I think that Jeeves was there from the last access. I think he's challenging the Estelle Moon instead. We're about to
Oh,
see.
could be,
There you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Normal. Yeah, just has to kill all the cards here. And yeah, I think this Apex deck was actually brewed by Sebastian K. Shoutouts there.
One of the greatest cooks of all time, honestly.
Depends on how burnt you consider Venti.
Alex doesn't have a lot to install here. Like the Chopbot kind of engine is good when you get to put down cards, but his end is not particularly big, and he's gonna put down a Matryoshka again just to find the draw with Chopbot later on.
Oh, that's some long-term econ. I think you're really happy to see that on the table.
Yeah, definitely.
And then yeah, just checking these face downs. Hello, man, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, Alex doesn't have the money to trash out of these, but it's worth maybe checking just in case Silent puts down an agenda that's a naked agenda that you might want to
Yeah,
steal.
100%. Like, there totally could just be agenda sneaked through on the table with
Mm-hmm.
Corp going especially on 0 HQ hand size, I mean.
Oh boy.
Oh, clone Joffrey's movement. Just recur all of your good cards and put them back. I think I'm feeling like I have just watched Canadian Nationals finals from 2020, 2017, and this kind of looks similar. You just have this ETF with all this tempo here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. With a couple of new tools now, we're playing Spin Doctor. Maybe the agendas are even more annoying, but that's definitely that gives me the same feels.
Oh, friends again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alex.
with clone suffrage movement just recurring the friends that you can just play it again and again and just huge value here.
Yeah, interested in Silent deciding to use the friends instead of waiting for Alex to deal with the clone and then using that to reinstall the clones, which is maybe a little more annoying, but this gives more forward tempo, so it's definitely a choice that puts more stuff on the table, more stuff to deal for Alex to deal right now, and maybe kind of find a way to sneak an agenda out with the two ice remote now.
And there goes the third Matryoshka being drawn in the top 8 cards in the deck. definitely cannot feel good when you desperately need eyes. Basically, econ here in this situation over these breaker solutions.
Yeah. Alex needs a lot more credits to deal with the floods of expensive assets that he needs to trash.
Yeah, clicking twice and just going to check another remote. Oh, Estelle Moon's getting sniped. That
Yeah.
is a pretty good hit. Can't get the opponent get too much tempo here.
Can't feel terribly bad. On the other side, Silent is not terribly rich, so maybe there's a reason to force some kind of res here and there, like kind of aggressively run the remotes.
Especially
And
with
we see
efficiency community going getting scored out, like Silent going really down on credits here.
yeah, but no agendas on the table right now, so probably not as scared. And with the ETF trigger, oh my god,
Oh, that's so good.
bouncing back up all the way to 4, which is not terribly high, but it's enough credits to res, maybe threaten a res of some kind of scary eyes.
Yeah, especially if you can get ETF to trigger with the advanced assembly lines again, that starts to add up really quickly.
Yeah. Interested in seeing efficiency committee, a card that usually is in some kind of combo lists where you don't get, because you don't get to advance agendas after you use it. So I'm curious to see if Silent has a way to fast advance agendas without advancing them, or it's just like pure value AFCOM.
Yeah, 100%. DreamNet Apex is always a digital ID, so you do get the extra credit of it. Just currently not enough credits to actually install it. Yeah, having to just click for credits again.
It is a rough situation for Alex to be in. I think he has to give some space to Silent and like kind of try and set up a bit of economy. Because right now his chatbot is not doing much. His Apex ID is not doing anything other than restricting the resources he can play. So definitely a tough situation to play from.
Yeah, Holloman moving into the safety of the server 9. Get those double eyes, just saving you a bit. And yeah, then just having to draw up, but I think you're fine with that, especially if you just can get one install here and just trigger the advanced assembly lines in the opponent's turn here.
Yeah. Alternatively, Silent could just spend all the AFCOM counters, get another. Oh no, just the one Jeeves trigger.
Yeah, Jeeves sadly doesn't work like wage workers.
Yeah. And I don't think Silent has the points to play wage worker here, if I'm counting it right. I'm not expecting to find a second one.
Yeah, I think we have seen moons and friends in high places, and those are like 5 points, I think.
That's 5. Spin Doctor is 1, and I'm quite confident Clone Surfetch Movement is 1, but I might be wrong on that one. I'm not super sure.
Could be. Eternal Balance team here doesn't know all the point lists.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, firing at the reboot, installing 5 cards from archives face down. I did not remember what the card name actually was.
It's a good long-term plan for Alex for sure here.
Yeah, with Chopot just getting like one draw a turn basically.
Exactly.
No reses here, interestingly. Maybe doesn't the second ice probably ends the run here. No, it doesn't. Oh, Lakshmi, yeah, you just cannot trash it, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. I was curious because Silent installed it with advanced assembly line, so it couldn't have been an agenda.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But he installed it behind 2 eyes, so that's an interesting one. And Lakshmi, definitely a good way to score agendas from now on.
Yeah, Lakshmi basically getting these counters, and then you just can basically push agendas that your opponent just cannot steal at all. So you have to take it out. Problem is that I have a on 0 credit, so that's not going to be easy. Again, clicking for draws.
Yeah, and probably looking for the agenda, I think.
Yeah, I would assume so. If you have
So, mhm.
tools to score it out, I think you can use the efficiency commentate.
Yeah, and there you go.
Up to 4
Punching
clicks.
out all those tokens, getting all 4 clicks. So I checked, and closer fetch movement is free in terms of points, so we might actually see a wage worker popping out sometime.
Yeah, that's all. That feels so good when you have both wage workers and Jeeves, letting
Mm-hmm.
you do absolutely busted turns. I just have to hope NSG prints one more click getting card so I can reliably do 9-click turns.
I would be shocked that something like that wouldn't appear sooner or later in the future. Yeah. Meanwhile, silent clicking to draw 3 times and then still managing to install 5 cards.
Definitely fairest as can be. And yeah,
Yeah.
Moon's going to absolutely blow up here.
Yep. Lakshmi on a single counter, but ready to be charged on command as soon as Silent needs to defend something.
Yeah. We probably can install the second treatment face down, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, second one doesn't look particularly useful.
Yeah, no. It is.
So if you were Alex, how would you try and like tackle this kind of board state?
I feel like you basically have to pressure maybe central servers. I don't feel like you have the econ build up here to actually stop scoring the scoring out.
Yeah, that makes sense. We see Amalia getting rezzed. Unfortunately, Amalia, I don't think has any legal target right now.
Yeah, 100%. Non-weird. Yeah, just
Yeah.
realizing it. Uh,
It still gets the one Lakshmi counter, so it might end up being useful in the future, but right now it doesn't do much. And against Apex in general, it's not going to be very impactful.
yeah, I think in somewhere nearby there's like a fire here, so I'll at some point maybe need to check a couple of things, but I think
Ooh,
we're
okay.
fine here.
Okay, good to know. If
Yeah.
there's anything important, don't
Yeah, I
don't hesitate.
I think we should be fine here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alex keeps on checking every single remote he can. A second copy of Lakshmi pops up.
double the
Now if
value. Yeah,
yeah,
at least getting out the second clone suffrage movement, making sure that we don't have too many of those recursion pieces happening. Did you know that reboot
mm-hmm.
actually removes from game when you play it?
Yeah, I was aware.
Okay.
You can't go install a same old thing, flip it with a simulator, use it again. Yeah, infinite
I wish,
recursion.
I wish. Apex needs the bone.
Yeah, I guess. So Silent with a lot of cards in hand, all 3 clicks, trying to figure out what's the best way to play his turn, and starts with Biotic Labor.
Mhm.
Are we looking at a score here? Follows up with a shipment from Mirrormorph, installing 3 different cards, 3 different servers.
Yep.
There you go, rezzing the wage workers are ready to play another operation and get a lot of clicks.
Yeah, she meant per mirror of doing so much value. Oh, and we even get more clicks with Luminal.
Oh.
Oh, that's disgusting.
So no more scoring right now, but holy, that's a lot of value.
Yeah, absolutely. Sicko mode here.
On the bright side, though, Silent is on 0 credits right now, and even though Moons can get him a couple, It'll still be like a while before he threatens a significant score. Well, I said that, but the advanced lines keeps on coming back from the bin and generating that little bit of credits that's going to make Silent's life much easier.
Oh, there's also the wage workers. That's value.
Yeah.
100%.
We're clicking for credits. We're clicking to draw.
This is what every HP player needs in their life, basically.
Yeah. I wish we found the time to count all the clicks that Silent played here, because it has to be closer to 15 than...
We will see at the end of the game, hopefully, the amount of clicks. It's always fun when the corporation actually has more clicks in the game than the runner.
Let me tell you, this one is definitely a situation where the corp plays more clicks than the runner. I don't see how Alex catches up at this point.
And friends in high places as well. That's so much stuff happening.
That single team sponsorship is paying dividends like crazy. I think it installed both times a advanced assembly lines, which wasn't terribly important, but those 6 credits helped Silent chain all these effects one after the other.
It definitely adds up, like during the game, and when you can also get multiple of these, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Finally.
Silent just needs to find a way to score a 3-pointer now. I think these Lakshmis help with that a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if the 5-3 is already on the board and ready to be protected by Lakshmi for next turn score. Realizing that between Wage Worker and Jeeves, you just have to advance it manually.
You can't just score it out of nowhere.
Doesn't even have to take into account the fact that he's playing with a Holoman, so...
Yeah, popping the moons. And R&D down on 13 cards, so there probably is a Genesis somewhere on the table or in the hand, but yeah, just cannot check everything.
And the ones in the hand are even like protected by Lakshmi, so you're not even going to be able to find points.
Oh, it protects
if you're the runner
hand
here.
as well. That's
protects them from everywhere. Yeah. We'll see if this is the last turn of the game, if we see Silent advancing an agenda, or probably playing some kind of biotic labor into the scoring line.
Yeah, I think Silent Arbiter taking a moment to think. Makes sense with this G's Wage Workers. You just have access to so many clicks here. Could totally just score out a 3-pointer now. Just basically with any single card that gets more advancement counters. Just installing. Yeah, it looks like we're going install 3.
Yeah, the last install is more than free, as it comes with 2 clicks backs.
Yeah, helps a bit.
Yeah. Biotic labor, and that probably spells disaster for Alex, as I think Silent Arbiter
does look like it.
Or an undo click, never mind. Oh yeah, we're not getting the Jeeves click now because we got it from the install, so definitely we need to find one more click somewhere.
Advancing 3 times, get a click pass with Wage Workers. I think we also should get the G.
No, we got Jeeves from the triple install.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, it doesn't trigger twice, sadly.
Yeah.
Holoman moving does make sense. Yeah, just score the global food.
Second
Corp
copy of
getting
Holoman
50 clicks!
That's absurd.
When runner gets 32, that's definitely absurd. Not fair.
That is, I think, 9 turns for the runner, for the corp, so I think Silent Arbiter played more than 5 clicks per turn on average.
Yeah, on average. I think on average that 1 turn helped a lot. That was way less Silent Arbitrary as I was expecting.
Yeah, it feels much more standard than the spicy builds we've seen from him. That being said, I don't think, and he's the only one playing ETF,
Mhm.
and he's the only one playing this kind of style of asset spammy HP. So
Yeah,
still kind of
100%.
unique at least.
It's still unique. It's just not this off the wall things
Yeah,
that we
it's
might
it's
have
not Mushin
expected.
no Shin score two Jumons.
Yeah, Mate.
MT is exactly.
And
The other side
yes,
we have Blue Sun facing off against Wizard. We'll see if Silence Arbiter found something weird to play in Wizard, or if it's more of a wreck build this time around on both sides. And on the other side, Alex playing the Blue Sun that probably Ba help build, I want to say.
I would assume so. Blues are basically trying to glacier up heavy as possible, and while Wizard tries to build this disruption, I think Rumor Mill and two Clan Vengeances does help a lot if you can find a damage source into the table as well. Like get a zero or the bunker online, and it's going to be quite a lot of gas here.
Yeah. I don't think Wizard's ability is going to trigger as much maybe
Mhm.
this game. Blue Sun doesn't have a lot of trashables, and their servers are going to be much harder to pierce than other corps. So we'll
Yeah,
see what
100
happens in this one.
100%. That disruption basically needs to come from Clan Vengeance, and I think a really good Rumor Mill hit.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know what rumor mill hits in this deck. I'm assuming Alex is on some form of defensive upgrades. That probably doesn't love the rumor mill.
Yeah, defensive upgrades I would assume that was classically what Rumor Mill basically destroyed completely.
Mm.
And yeah, Alex just going install two eyes and a thing in server one. Currently not having a bloom. Oh, there it is. If we rest this, we can use blue sun here. But yeah, installing Faust first is sick though.
Yeah, that's a way of saying I want to access something. I don't care about the
Hmm.
cost.
Yeah, and you can just throw out this Black Orchestra. Let Alex gain one credit. Or finding a Rashida is
Akadyoshida.
so sick. Alex
Nice.
going down to two credits. Although 2 or 6, who knows?
Yeah, he'll bounce back up.
Yeah,
Ooh, unfortunate hit for the zero, hitting the blue moose instead of the Avid Wars.
yeah.
Definitely not the one that Silent wanted.
I think we probably are fine with that. I would assume, have way more blue mooses in the deck,
Yeah,
but it's going to take a while before we actually draw the second one though.
I love the inclusion of the source as a deck for CI kind
Hmm.
of kind of ways.
Oh, and
And
Ryan getting installed rest basically for free.
the good old oversight AI out of Blue Sun. Although maybe a risky one at some point. The Faust can break some of these huge eyes for all the cards in your hand.
Hmm.
So if Silent clicks the zero and hits at Avid Wars, he might be able to challenge some of the
It's
bigger eyes
still
than.
like 3 cards to boost, 6 cards to break, which kinda is a lot.
It is a lot, but it also putting the economy on the corp side all the way to zero. So
Yeah, it's basically 15 credit swing if you don't trash this.
yeah,
So yeah, I would assume that Silent probably has to go there.
and commenting on that exact question, exact fact. We'll see if he ends up running for that or not. He's doing the math, that's for sure.
I think you probably can like click zero, then I first run. Definitely does help, but it depends on what you draw into. Maybe you draw into pieces that you kind of cannot afford to trash.
Yeah,
Although I
that's
think
always the thing. If you draw your clan vengeances, are you happy throwing them away just to uh, trash the thing?
I feel like we're not happy, but you just kind of have to. And yeah, just finding two clan vengeances here.
That's exactly what I was talking about. That and the moshing, that's like the other way that Silent has here to get away from that one single credit and boost his economy.
Yeah.
So now it's even tougher of a situation.
Also installing this Soros first. Not sure if if it's more that you just want to hit the Wars guaranteed, or do you actually want on the table to be safe?
I think he just wanted to make sure the zero hit the Avid Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Though that was a bit of an expensive one, and because I don't think Alex is going to uh, threaten scoring an agenda anytime soon.
Yeah, especially with going down to basically one credit. Of course, maybe getting this border control back in hand first. And yeah, there goes 15 credits worth of credit down the drain. But yeah, Silent trading a lot for that though.
Yeah. We'll see if Alex has a different play here to bounce back, or if that kind of cuts down his economical plan.
It probably does take a while to actually recover from here. Silent though probably doesn't also have cards that work from one, I would assume.
Yeah, both players kind of slowing down a bit here. Although Silent has a Desperado that's gone. Never mind.
Same thing doesn't feel like the thing right now. But yeah, just finding the blue moose in hand. That probably will help a lot in getting the back on the credit totals.
Here's the thing, Haverfun not bouncing the border control. I wonder if he wants to keep it there so he can score out something later on. But right now it feels like that is better placed in HQ with giving him 4 credits.
Yeah, might be that there's just nothing to actually do with the credits in hand. Like, don't have a hedge. Even then, like, it's basically wasting a click that you installed the card with if you used it for Blue Sun.
Yeah, definitely. So worth keeping it down unless you need the credits. That makes sense.
And Silent Arbiter still struggling with one credit, hitting the blue moose, but drawing the second one
Oh,
right in back to back.
that's the last blue moose, so it's
Yeah,
something that Silent might want to consider before clicking 0 next.
yeah, I definitely feel like you have to get that blue moose online. It's so many credits in a single install, especially
Especially
if
when
this
the
game is probably going quite long.
yeah, exactly what I was about to say.
Also, I think we probably have to get this I've had wars on the table as well in the
You
coming
mean same old
turns.
thing?
Same old thing, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Two old cards. Yes, basically same old thing. Basically, just secure your levy and be certain that you actually can be able to do that. Jackson, drawing up does help also clear agendas if we have some stacked in HQ already. And just find your econ pieces.
Yeah. You have to be wary about the rumor mill here. So
Mm-hmm.
if you just pitch all your agenda to archives and then don't fire the Jackson right away, there's a chance you get got by the rumor mill. And I mean, Silent can't play it right now, but he's very close to.
Yeah, at the start of the turn we trigger blue moose and just hit the rumor mill button. Would
Yeah,
make this quite sad if Haverfun goes for the line, but I think that's a skill that Eternal teaches you. You have to be afraid of the rumor mill.
absolutely. I'm expecting Silent to go action question mark right away at the start of the turn.
Yeah, that's always like does kinda tell a bit that you're actually going for something. Yeah, actually, after.
Yeah, exactly. And there it is.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's just a thing you have to keep in mind, basically. If you're not playing around Rumor Mill is going to play you.
Yeah, and these players have played enough Eternal to know that you have to play around Rumor Mill against Wizard, against pretty much any
Mm.
Anarch right now.
Yeah, Rumor Mill just hit like 3 points in Eternal, but still is being so much value. There's a Levy and also some Econ that you can get with Faust. Interestingly, Faust works with these new versions of Thrashable Econo, like
Yeah.
Steelskin Scarring and Strike Fund, but doesn't work with I've heard worse, which only triggers from net and meat damage. Doesn't
Yeah, it
trigger
doesn't work
from
on
core
core.
damage at all for some reason, as I found out being quite sad at some.
We see Silent putting down some economy, but without the breakers, it's not gonna matter a lot. Now the breakers are coming out of archives of the heap anyway,
Mhm.
so it's not like he needs them on the board. But I don't see the fouls getting used a lot after maybe a couple of turns,
Yeah, I feel
depending
like
on.
it's going to take
Mhm.
a lot of stuff out of your hand. It's
Yeah,
stuff that you maybe are fine throwing away. Stuff like this Black Orchestra or Wormhole.
it's a wormhole. That's a big ice. I'm sure Alex wanted to. I would have loved to advance it, maybe
Mm.
to discounting a little bit. Um,
You still get it back to 9 credits, but it's just so tough to break with just having this
yeah.
Black Orchestra online. I think interesting, like Anrax has really breaking ice that's not barriers in this format. MK Ultra and Black Orchestra just not doing it, and Eternal Decks maybe not having the slots for like bot solutions and tools to actually deal with big ice here.
Another ice that's maybe a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah, 100%.
Balance using the fouls to get through this one, which makes sense. Decides to break the gain one subroutine as well, given that Alex is just on one credit. Although he's about to bounce back with the wormhole getting returned from into hand probably.
Yes, seeing scarcity on the top doesn't ever feel good, knowing that you probably will get played that on, but Silent at least has the second rumor mill in hand. On instantly clicking clan finishes after the scarcity gets used, basically baiting it out, and Alex just has 2 clicks for the turn left.
Yeah, and with the other copy of Rumor Mill in hand, that makes somewhat sense, I want to say.
100%.
The scarcity is not going to stay there for long.
Yeah, basically make sure your opponent plays the card first that you want out of there, that you can deal with. But really like solid play there, I think. Archives first click, just go see what's there.
Makes sense. After the Clan Vengeance hit, we see a bunch of ice, 2 Chiashis.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just quite a tough piece of ice. Getting breaken for 7 at least, so there's some benefits.
Yeah, and even spikier if you decide to break it with fouls, because it has a sneaky hidden ability that gets rid of some of your cards from the stack if you break it with an AI. Wait, if you
Yeah.
break it, if you control an AI,
I think it's
one of the
a
two.
control, yeah.
Wow, even rougher.
Overinstall the card in server 1. I feel like that's a unique card then that basically just was waiting for rumor mill to subside.
Yeah, probably maybe a Rashida or something similar.
Would make sense.
Definitely not a great position to be in.
I think there might be a world where we can install the second medium and go digging in R&D. Do you think that's the line we're going for, or is it just get your value out when you can?
It's definitely an expensive one. I think because you haven't installed your breaker yet,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have the MU to host more programs after this one. But it looks like Silent's probably deciding to at least check R&D here, dig a little bit.
Yeah, not having the Desperado does not feel great, but the influence is looking actually quite tight on multiple copies of it.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. You're not wrong.
At least Faust letting us do work here currently. Probably letting Alex gain 2 credits. Or a credit. Oh, breaking the
Nah, never
credit?
mind.
No, yeah, just breaking the
Breaking
credit.
everything. Interesting.
Oh yeah, we can also throw out the no one home.
No,
Definitely
when
not
I'm not
using it at
necessary.
this much.
Yeah.
Building block, that's not a good card to see there.
That's unfortunate though. Building blocks only puts like reses eyes from HQ, I think.
Hmm.
You installs and res, so not something that Alex loves to see. Would
Yeah,
have loved to see that with the Chiashi in hand, but
yeah, 100%.
not right now.
Drawing twice, so I think we saw both as cards. No ice there, and R&D feeling mighty open right now.
Yeah.
If Alex goes and draws one more time, I think there's a world where Silent just pops the Clan Vengeance and says like, "You're not allowed to have this."
You're not wrong.
Oh, click for credit. Yeah, just make sure that R&D cannot be iced this turn, and next turn we will go digging there. Blue moves take out something that you don't need.
It'll be an
Prices, no one
expensive one
homes
though. Like
everything.
it's still that single horde room is going to be quite tough to get through.
It
I think we'll see Silent Arbiter installing the MK Ultra sooner or later, and the
Yeah,
Desperado
100%.
helps mitigating a little bit.
Desperado helps, and it also lets you install the second recipes as well.
Ooh, yeah, good point.
I feel like the game is going to take a while longer, but Reseki is so slow though that it maybe doesn't make sense. Also, you have to like get the Black Orchestra on the table, which takes the last MU slots anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this
You can,
old Reseki is basically in the hand to die.
yeah, unless you want to get rid of the Faust for now, since your stack is pretty is like getting smaller and smaller every turn.
The first go around of the stack, yeah.
Yeah, but with Blue Moose removing one card every turn, the second go around is not gonna be massive, I don't
Mm.
think.
Yeah, interestingly, upgrading HQ does feel like a Chrisim grid or something. Not sure
I
what you
don't think.
install on HQ and not R&D here. Also,
Yeah,
finding the last room really just keeping turning currents off constantly.
I don't think we've seen any run event from Silent Arbiter this game, and
Oh yeah,
maybe a
wormhole getting
Katorga.
destroyed by bunker.
Oof.
Absolutely decimated.
Yeah, huge eyes of a single subroutine does not does not do great against some of the modern tools.
Yeah, 100%. And what do we see installed there? Oh, you has to use the border control this turn.
Now it is quite tough to get through that wormhole.
It is,
I
but
think
like I
it's
think you might just be able to get there next turn. Like you go check R&D, like oh, and yeah, choosing to levy up.
shuffling the stack back, losing the 2 credits from uh, Blue Moose next turn is going to hurt
A bit,
for
for
sure.
sure, yeah. But pressure on R&D is going to mount a lot here. Like you cannot defend server 1 and R&D this turn, I think.
Yeah, totally. Silent doesn't have the resources, a lot of resources though. Also, all the breakers are gone from the bin, so Silent has to rely on this Faust to get through ice. And with the levy gone, he has to be a little bit more parsimonious about
Hmm.
how he spends uh, all the cards he finds.
Yeah, it's not infinite credits anymore.
For now, Banker just deals with the wormhole easily.
Eminent
It's an
domains,
M-Dom.
that's
Ooh.
sick. Yeah, Alex not been able to score it because the sword's being installed.
Oh, you're right. I totally missed that. That's why it's been sitting there for so long.
Yeah, Silent having to spend 5 credits on the swords. But yeah, eminent domain, huge value from for Blue Sun, so still pretty happy probably to see that gone.
Yeah, you gotta be happy on Silent side to take that away.
Yeah, descend. Yeah, let one credit go. Just get these bin breakers into the bin.
And at this
and
point, we're casting a
seeing
lot of
3
cards.
card. I think one of the things saw one too little.
Yeah, there's something on JNet about the medium triggers that sometimes don't work the way
Yeah,
you
I think
want.
the second medium often starts on 0,
Mm.
so you have to make sure that you actually click those correctly.
I'm sure Silent will pick up on it on the next run. I really like the eminent domain in Blue Sun though. If you get one of your Orion or a Chiyashi res with that, that's so much money you can play with.
Yeah, also getting an archer and just archer even in Eternal is so tough to break for Anarchs. Like MK Ultra into that shit is so tough. At least we find an ice for R&D, so maybe could cause issues. Though Clan Vengeance basically says yum for that.
Yeah. Damage and bunker getting all the value from the damage here.
Yeah, just a massive combo. Hitting Steel
Silent Arbiter
Skin.
taking the damage.
Hitting
Oh
Iron
my god.
Wars. Thanks.
That's so much draw.
Yeah, thanks for the cards.
Yeah.
And finally decided to actually install the Black Orchestra. Black Orchestra ice that deals with Hortum especially really well.
Yeah. Now we're digging very hard. Trojan Horse, send
Send
a message.
Gets one ice. Yeah, curtain wall on HQ.
Massive one.
And R&D is still quite open, but cannot run there this turn again.
I don't think we've seen Have a Fun bounce anything with Blue Sun this game,
Yeah,
which
no.
is a little unfortunate.
I hope Alex knows that you can bounce ice. Not sure how much we actually have played these decks.
It's tough because it always feels like you're losing a click,
It does,
but
100%.
having this kind of fluid ice structure where you can defend the points where your opponent wants to run more is something that I think Alex might have wanted to take more advantage of during the game.
Yeah, it's a like although like you really don't want this curtain wall or this Orion innermost in here, or actually curtain wall I think had extra text for that.
Yeah, Cardinal wants to be outside, has more strength when it's outside.
Yeah, so could take that out, but realistically doesn't have enough resources then to actually protect HQ, and with this many cards gone I feel like that could be a problem.
Okay,
Archer?
number 38,
Yeah,
raising
that's
an archer.
down to 2 credits though.
Yeah.
Does not feel
Well,
good.
not enough to score, but with Blue Sun you get to bounce something back and score that way.
Yeah, oh yeah, true.
Maybe the third eminent domain.
Feel like the problem here though is the R&D basically leaking heavily.
Yeah. And with zero triggering a new, like clicking again, getting another counter on Clan Vengeance.
Yeah, installing the second Clan Vengeance here I think, and going R&D just to dig for 7 cards I believe.
Yeah,
Medium,
that's a massive
not as easily understandable as Conduit.
I wish you're not wrong.
Taking the first one in the head and then breaking with Black Orchestra. And yeah, seeing 7 here. Actually 8 I think. Hedge fund.
It might be 8, you're not wrong, yeah. We've seen a few of these.
Yes, yeah, there it is.
There you go.
Yeah, have a fun just basically not being able to actually do stuff. Getting the Orion early, a huge wing that Silent Arbiter actually went and trashed that. Imagine if we have 15 more credits in this game.
Yeah,
On the correct side.
and an Orion that you can play you can place on your remote and then use to score out that eminent domain. Yeah, definitely something that would have snowballed out of the control maybe if Silent hadn't been able to deal with that. But the double draw event in hand and the one AI on the board definitely helped.
Yeah. And now I think we're switching up. Lara switching staying on CI, and toron staying staying faithful into this World Review, which I think again increased by 20 cards.
Yeah, I think the number went up again, which is I think unsurprising at this point. Um, and I can't see. I think Larea went down to 49. I think she was playing 54
Yeah, I believe so.
last phase, so she ended up making some cuts go down to a more manageable number. We'll see what this game has in store. Very normal match. We've seen it a few times. I think Toron will try and bring out any kind of tech card that slows Laria's plan, and Laria has a few ways that she could have built her deck. Although if it's the same as last phase, we'll see a big deal score out for her to win with the Vanity Project into a second agenda probably.
We see quite like every time I see this Toron's deck, I think I see cards that I've never seen before. Like it was the one resource in hand which I don't remember the name of.
I think that was. I'm gonna check it before I embarrass myself. But it looks like Officer Frank, which if you want to pull up on stream, it's a resource that does basically nothing and costs 0. I don't think the stream sees your overlay, by the way, now that I realize.
Yeah, I think I managed to fix it. No, I didn't. There. Yeah, Officer Frank, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. One of those 0 cost resources that I want to put in my World 3 deck because I have to tutor for something else. Well, we see Larea going off with her first YDL, getting a bit of money.
Yeah, up to 10 credits is fine. Probably not what you especially want. Ultra level clearance, that's pretty good for next turn.
Yeah, likely to happen very soon. This deck needs a lot of money to win. Depending on which combo it is, some combos run as low as 15 to 17 credits. Others need up to 20 to 30 credits to win the game. So the name of the game is making as much money as you can in a bunch of these CIs.
Yeah, accidentally installing the wrong card. Quite a long list of cards to install, so easy to actually misclick these.
Yeah. Toron zooming out so he can see the screen while using Cabaneza.
Yeah. So Leprechaun getting installed, making sure that you can start saving this MU. And I feel like CI might have tough time here, depending on if we have something like Hunter Seeker or something to take care of these world trees.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what Larea is bringing to the table. I like the rejig to put the World Tree on Leprechaun and find and save some MU.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a play I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, ultra level clearance, basically getting you draw, econ, and an install all in one card, but takes up your whole turn. So, bit fairer than something like third level clearance.
Yeah.
Although here, definitely not needing to actually discard anything does help a lot.
Yeah, designed to have some kind of downside, but in this situation, definitely something that CI just loves to play.
Yeah, 100%. Finding Plaza Crit Carapace. Basically, yeah, this World 3 deck is basically just some econ cards and otherwise just every single tech card in the game that you could ever need.
Yeah, mostly playing from deck. Whatever you find in hand gets to be fodder for 3 in the future, but you have ways to find the types you need in different situations.
Yeah, and still didn't have space for Mache. I get a bit salty about it. Second ultra level clearance, icing up R&D as well. Does make sense, but yeah, World 3 not deterred too much. I think The idea here is basically to figure out what the combo is, and then go and disrupt it how much as we can.
Yeah. Toron relentlessly building his board, crushing one Colossus at a time. We have to say that with this big of a deck, it's going to be tough finding those value levy that we've seen all these World Review play. Now that you don't get to draw them very easily and there's no tutor for them, it's not gonna be easy reloading the deck with all the coalescences.
Yeah, events basically the one card that you cannot tutor for in the deck.
Hmm.
Is not the most fun thing, but yeah, you'll just play Levy when you draw it, so
Yeah.
it's basically 3 in 200 to draw it, so quite a decent chance.
Every time you tutor something with World Tour or Cabaneza, you're making the stack a little bit smaller, so your chances go that little bit better.
Up and up every time.
Yeah.
Oh, drafter getting rest. Slap bundle not the best into that, but I think you can let the corp install a card and you're fine into it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't. Laria doesn't have anything installable in archives, so it's not recurring anything. It's just putting a new card from hand on the board, and unless that card is a clone suffrage movement or something terribly scary, I don't think Toron has to worry about it too
Mm.
much.
Yeah, especially with it there being 2 clicks left, you still get enough things to actually be able to do. Getting a second world tree, although doesn't have targets for that, I think, this turn yet.
I think Toron will end up trashing the Slap Vandal.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I always forget to look at the other side of the screen.
Yeah. Interestingly, Toron decided that he needed a breaker, so he put down his Lab Vandal and challenged R&D instead of going for the archives that's free.
Yeah, I think
Kind of
that was
pushing
basically
Laria
just a
to,
program that you needed.
yeah, and also it pushed Laria to spend some money.
Hmm.
So I know Toron has played a lot of CI in this league, so I think he knows how important it is to have a lot of credits in hand, and that's definitely a way to slow Laria down. Although this
Yeah, there goes that.
corporate futility, yeah, into your digital life, gaining so much money.
Yeah, up to 31. YDL is such a card that basically holds CI up a lot in the current meta, where basically any econ disruption you have can be dismantled by one single card.
Yeah, it's definitely a very powerful combo and something that CI has been using better and better every week. I see
Mm.
the CIs in this league get mileage of that card a lot more.
Yeah, I think we still have 0 of the takedown that we actually might need, and Lara is nearing up the combo potential every turn.
Yeah, that's a scary situation to be in. I think Thorin is thinking about it right now, whether he needs to protect from a core damage kill or if he has to find a resource for the source. Importantly, I don't think he has a resource in hand, so that's a scary position to be
Hmm.
because a lot of the tech cards against CI are usually resources.
I feel like, yeah, source. I think Clot is probably one tech card that we might try to get. So basically, just get SMC on the table is a
Or
option.
just find the clot right away, I guess. Although that ends up getting purged easily.
Yeah, I think Lara, if we are going for the combo route, Lara probably has the virus in there somewhere, or the
Mhm.
CVS, I mean.
Or maybe both. I think we've seen her play Mavers and CVS in her last CI deck, so it wouldn't
Mm.
surprise me if she ended up using some influence to get more of that effect.
Could be. I think we cut down from 49, so it would be interesting. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, I don't have any idea what it could be. Getting double wall trade trigger, so maybe going for a tech. No, just getting hyper drivers back online.
Getting some value, letting Luria have some space, and probably saying if you have a combo that I cannot stop,
You
you're
just
good.
can win, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if they have it, you sometimes lose in these combo matchups.
But finding the SMC is at least a way to slow down the CI combo.
Yeah, 100%. And like every turn, Clara doesn't combo out. it gives Toron one more turn to set up this impossible board presence to beat.
Yeah. Interestingly, Lariat has chosen to protect the centrals more instead of icing up archives, which is would have meant that Taran would have had to go through at least one piece of ice to trigger the world trees. This way, Taran has a free run, I guess, but Alaria protecting the agendas in HQ and R&D and probably saying, I can score faster than you can find the points. Or I can win faster, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's true. The problem is if we get tech online, that makes doing the combo so much harder. It also could be that Ice on HQ and R&D is not holding water. Like I think you can just get us another slap bundle and go through R&D and you don't care about it at all.
Yeah, you're probably correct. Even putting down Ice on archives instead of HQ or R&D would probably push Thoron towards running one of the other two servers. So
Yeah, I
it
think
makes
so.
sense, I guess.
Then corporate hospitality. Oh, that I think that's just the thing hasn't
I think
changed.
Thoron
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
thinking here.
Toron just thinking about yeah.
Maybe checking some rules.
Yeah, the
Probably looking at his deck list, honestly. That's another
yeah
thing that
totally
it
could be.
makes
Dummy
sense.
box that I think makes no sacrificial construct is the thing that helps with clot.
Yeah, maybe Dummy Box does as well. Let's see. No, I think you end up trashing. So I think Dummy Box doesn't help with that.
Yeah,
With keeping the cloud down.
sadly no. So you just have to find your sacrificial construct, which does bit of the same thing, but sacrificial constructs just sacrificing itself instead, and such a nice card with all the cards that basically clear on purge when your opponent has to spend multiple like clicks or something to purge multiple times. So
Yeah.
much more difficult.
Huge effect. Huge time waster for the corp.
I think classically also have seen like sacrificial construct and tapworm work really well.
Let's see what Toron finds out with this run. I'm expecting the Azups to become some kind of defensive resource.
I would
Probably that
think so.
sacrificial contact you're talking about.
Yeah, either sacrificial constructs or the source.
Oh yeah,
Look
the
at the
source would also
list.
be a good one.
Do we actually have the source in the list? No, just getting Beth here.
And Beth, one additional click a turn, basically impossible to prevent at this point from a CI. You're gonna be above 15 for most of the game, I think.
Yeah, I think only way I see is like you just go and hit your big deal and
Mm-hmm.
get one out there.
Maybe res some kind of huge piece of ice, but other than that,
Yeah, you get the rest 2 Januses with this credit total, so
or one massive IQ.
biggest one in the game.
Yeah. Torrent putting down the plus grid as well.
Yeah, helps if Florea has switched into the contract killer combo, but would I think be surprising when contract killer kinda has fallen out of favor with these defective brain chip combos that kinda do the same thing, but with core damage that is way more hard to actually prevent.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. The core damage combo seems easier, costs less influence, and probably is deadlier than the contract killer. So
Yeah,
I think Torrent's just putting that down for a future World Tree usage.
yeah, that does make sense. Actually, sacrificial construct a priest. Yeah, it's a resource.
It is a resource, yeah.
Yeah, somehow, some way. Definitely
It's
one
a
of
kind of
those surprising ones that could totally be a hardware.
early FFG
Mm.
cards that don't necessarily match their type too well.
Yeah, just drawing up, getting an artist colony as well, interestingly.
I mean, at this point, whatever green card Toron pulls out of the stack, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I
There
think
could be literally anything.
this could just be import the biggest deck in history into World Woo and play World Race in there, and
It would probably work quite well.
probably that's the scary part.
Yeah. Toron could not find the time to run any server this turn, so massive hit on his engine.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, just afraid of the ice on everywhere.
And I missed what Larea did, but I think she just went.
Blue level clearance into YDL. Up to
Blue level
49 credits already. Yeah, just has. I think we might see a Mavarus or a CVS on HQ, and could totally mean that we are going for the combo some way.
That's my guess as well.
What record reconstruction? Whenever you make
Yeah,
successful on archives, that's kind of cool, I guess. Oh, Fairchild though, that's hype.
Record Reconstructor, I think it's there as the zero cost hardware of choice. It can be okay in some IG matchups.
Yeah, basically just zero cost hardware, I think, that you get into your real hardwares.
You eyed me up when I heard Fairchild, but it's not the Fairchild, it's just Fairchild 3, so which is still
yeah,
really
the real
good,
Fairchild. Fairchild Prime is not a real thing.
Really good against Slap Vandal in this case.
100%. Has to take something out to trash or pay 3 credits. I think 3 credits does make sense here.
We ended up saying goodbye to Dummy Box. And
big sad.
It's time now to get a few cards out.
Get even more green orbs. And yes, sell out the Record Constructor. Switching up for a Sports Hopper, yeah, just get something to leave the combos. Good. We have 18 cards left in the deck, so really interested to actually see what's the combo here. And can you combo through one SMC?
Yeah, I'm expecting Lariat to pull the trigger right like sooner or later, and this advancement
starts something.
Tells us that.
I think this might be still the same list that goes and tries to score 2 big agendas right back to back. Powder Climber, advance again, and now Runner deciding to act.
It is the moment where Toron has to pull out the cloth here to stop Larea.
Yeah, but I think some purge on HQ making that probably unfeasible.
Yeah.
Oh, just thinking about it. Yeah, deciding no action.
I would say, unfortunately, Toron doesn't have a way to install the cloth after the purge, because famously, Big Deal doesn't is a little bit unfavored against cloth, in the sense that if you can install the cloth after the purge, thanks to a clone chip or something, you get to beat one virus or CVS. In this situation, Toron needs an hardware to become one of those chips, probably.
Yeah, anyways, you could I don't think Lara actually can combo out next turn here. I think we're 1 credit off or something.
Well, the 5-3 is only 18 credits, yeah?
18 plus the Mavaris, I think. That's going to 21.
Right, that's 21. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, the problem is that if we run HQ and actually need to res a second ice, that starts to add up quite a bit.
We have a Sakon in hand, so that one's definitely going to be a bit of a hit for Larea if Toron ends up playing it. And he's hovering over it, so I'm expecting that to hit the table sooner or later.
Yeah, I think so. Sakon making sure that Larea needs to slow down a lot.
Toron looks like he's a little bit like close to getting a lock in place, a point where Lariat cannot fast advance through all the annoying things that he has. But on the other hand, he has to act very quickly because Lariat is like one turn or two away from scoring out.
Oh, yeah. Also, I think we see this. What's it called? Freedom through equality. I think Toron literally put every single zero influence current into the deck as like a countermeasure for the corporation currents.
Yeah. At this point, with this big of a deck, you have to kind of prepare against some uh, currents somehow. And I know he has been talking about Cerebral Static as a way to shut down the deck. So I think he definitely reacted accordingly and put as many currents as he could. Although I don't think there's no Jinteki in the league right now, so I
Not
would
on
be surprised to
Jinteki,
see
but I know some
any.
people on Janet have been terrorizing people with
Yeah.
multiple copies of Cerebral Static. That on turn 1 just blows up Wu completely.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you don't have like a god hand to deal with that, a Cerebral Static can be death on turn 1 basically with all the with when especially when you're on 220 plus cards.
Yeah, realistically you just cannot draw into all of your things that you need.
Alright, taking an off turn using the archive memories to get something back. I couldn't see exactly. She got back a vital level clearance.
Yes, that we
Interesting.
instantly play again, I think.
Yeah. So now she has the money to fire off the combo through one clot. She might need a few more credits to go through a second clot, and the click to install another Mavirus or CVS.
Yeah, I don't think we have credits for something like Biotic install second clot, res second clot, install advance, big deal.
Yeah.
But we are close to that.
Yeah, it's getting definitely very close. We're expected to see. We count CI cards as if every play Laria has to make is like 4 credits or 5 credits every click. But she's definitely not far off from where she needs to be.
Yeah, 100%. I think the problem here might be that if Toron can get into HQ like one time, we are trashing this clot right under player.
Yeah, and even just forcing Larea to res some eyes could set her back a lot.
Yeah.
We've seen the second archives pull up a new your digital life, so Larea is ready to click for a lot of money very quickly.
Yeah, 23
So
credits per click.
yeah,
Get Cuban and
fairly good.
Fairchild probably just for the triggers here. Clicking through the Fairchild does make sense.
Yeah, getting some money and then probably selling it to the World Tree to find something else.
Yeah, I would assume so. Simul chips get another way to get clots back online. Does make sense. And
It's another
another
sacrificial
sacrificial
contract.
construct. That's difficult. Like getting through multiples of those adds difficulty so much.
Yeah. I mean, Larea can bait, I want to say, all these Sakans and Clot with one single agenda, just feeding one agenda to Toron and forcing the Clot. But with all these upgrades on Centrals, I think all of those are some way to purge viruses at instant speed.
It would make sense. It's just scary if we actually can get in there. I think something like install lamb run HQ would actually make sense here already.
Although I think Toron is kind of running out of MU. He has to
Yeah,
keep down the self-modifying code, and he's currently on one credit, on one
I
MU
think
for
the
free.
card we switch out here is the one Reseki that's
Yeah.
just floating around. I don't think Toron can wait around for Larea to actually combo out next turn. And I think next turn we definitely have credits to get out of here.
Oh yeah, from 40 plus credits, that's definitely a position where you can res every single one of those. It is a tough position. Toron is also not particularly rich, so there are some major, like massive eyes that could keep him out.
I think
I don't
in
know what.
some of this list we have also seen punitive in CI,
Ooh,
so
that would be it
could
would be tough.
yeah can be kind of scary to go into HQ, see agendas, and then just die. Also opens up really funny lines like install 3 eco projects on table
Ah,
and like just say like go deal with these.
that also explains why Toron put down the plus creed. That makes that's something that I wasn't thinking about, but that's definitely something that
Yeah,
he could have
I'm
been
definitely
preparing
not
for.
sure if Lara is on that, but I know it's one of these cards that you can play in CI as a way to just like basically slow down your opponent on interacting and blow them up if they're trying to go too fast and disrupt you too much.
It makes total sense. Toron here thinking about his moves. Definitely a tough position to be in, and a lot of
Definitely.
lines to go through.
Hmm.
Not having a single deck deer down is proving to be quite the challenging situation.
Yeah, I think deck tier maybe. Although, yeah, double wall tray on the one leprechaun. So if you actually access an agenda, that also hurts. Although it just gets eaten by second, but
Yeah. Film critic coming down, protecting from any hunter seeker
hmm
or punitive for now, and then challenging HQ right away, running towards those CVSs or viruses.
yep.
Although without any breaker outside the one self-modifying code.
hmm
Facing off a drafter, which is going to recur some quite powerful cards,
hmm
unless Toron decides to use the self-modifying code to stop that. Toron is looking at the archives, trying to figure out what could go wrong, and decides to let the drafter fire.
Yeah.
Ooh, and the install from HQ, another upgrade on R&D,
That
putting more and more purges down.
yeah. The problem is we are going to lose 2 of these right now, and you need to get 3 purges online if you want to beat double sacrificial constructs. Although, and I think the film critic or Beth may be going into the third sacrificial construct. I think that could
It
make
could
sense.
be. That would totally make sense, yeah. And we see another Fairchild 3
hmm
and this lab vandal. Torn deciding what to what to deal with.
Yeah, Fairchild not a easy ice to deal with.
Torn has to keep enough money to pull out the clot in time during the corpse turn, so
hmm
he cannot afford to pay all these uh, pay 3 subroutines and probably has to trash something.
Yeah,
Torn has a massive board, but every single piece does something really important. He cannot afford to let anything go without thinking about it. And ends up trashing at least one card. We'll see. I think I'm expecting to see him trash a second one.
yeah, sacrificial construct. Oh, I mean Fairchild not the clearest card on who actually trashes the cards. So I think it's that runner decides to if I don't reply. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really good question. I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
remember
it's the
anymore.
runner that thrashes. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I'm
think
not.
it's runner that runner chooses to trash or like trash one of their cards or pay 3 credits, and on the core damage it's actually the corp that chooses, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the last one I'm pretty sure that's it's the runner. It's the corp that chooses. You're right.
Yeah, getting the third sacrificial construct in there, and yeah, trash these all this crash.
DVS and a second one.
Yeah.
I would have been shocked if Toron pulled out a salsa slums and started removing the CBS from the game instead of putting them in archives so they could not get recurred.
100%. And
But that's probably a little too wild.
there might be still a line. I think we need 2 more purge effects to actually beat through the sacrificial construct.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Could be a world where just go like install advance and then purge next turn or something just to get rid of these. But that just adds space for Toron to get back in there with like a levy or something. Shuffle all the sacrificial constructs back in and go again.
It might be just a situation where you go install and then put ice in front of it.
Oh yeah, could be.
Toron is not particularly rich, and he had to sell one of the Rezeki, so his drip economy is not great. So maybe it's
Yeah,
time
and
to
we have
actually
already
build a
gone through all
remote.
the coalescences and everything.
Yeah. Wonder if Lara is considering that. Ooh, we see an Helion. I think that's a beta test.
Yep, I think that trashes a program or hardware. Oh yeah,
And
trashes 2 sacrificial constructs.
ooh, massive hit.
100%, yeah, that switches the game around a lot. Now, can we just score out here? Corporate hospitality?
Oh, it looks like we went biotic into corporate
Get
hospitality
back the
just to
Helium
play
beta test!
another
Play it
one.
again! Just 1-2 punch here.
Yeah. Using all the tech to get rid of the roadblocks that the runner is putting down. Really well played from Laria's side.
Maybe as an action before?
Yeah, that player's
Wonders of
realized
eternal action windows.
yeah. I don't know what Toron might be doing with this. I'm assuming he might be using it for a the simul chip to get something down before Laria trashes it.
Yeah, could be. Simulchip
Helium.
into a coalescence is something. Max Lara spent more credit and maybe not be able to do the thing next turn.
Oh yeah, that would also be an option. Just make sure Laria is not doesn't have the credits required. Yeah, and that's exactly the
Yeah,
line he's going for.
if it's going anyways, you make Lara spend bit more credits. Try to make sure that Lara cannot actually score out next turn.
Yeah, no, because that's her last click right now. So
Yeah,
she
cannot
would have to
do anything
find
this
more
turn.
money. Really tense game,
Okay,
really close.
deciding not to do an action after all. The classic, think about it a bit, try to go for it, then decide never mind.
Yeah, press the button and then realize that wasn't the best line to play.
Yeah, and no action, and I think we're going for Helium beta test again. I just want to send 2 cats at the runner.
Yeah, Laura not paying through that obviously, and Laria just blowing up the sacrificial construct.
Actually, yeah,
Really important here.
using sacrificial construct to defend the simul ship here.
Yeah. Laria tried to hit both cards, and Toron could just use the sacrificial contract that's being targeted to save the symbol chip, so
Yeah,
he didn't
that's an
have
interesting
to lose.
interaction.
Yeah.
That's a classic, like, I don't know if the game actually works like that, but who knows.
Yeah, totally. I think with the introduction of the interrupts from NSG, it makes more sense.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
could be. I think all pervents are interrupts now or something.
yeah, something like that. So it goes off the interrupt goes off before the second gets trashed, and then
Yeah, I believe
it
so.
gets to save it.
Now has to go through Fairchild again. We get
Yeah.
two carbon wall 3 triggers, but I think we. Oh, Lara doesn't have enough credits though. Get an online turbine, and I think of some sort of breaker solution.
Yeah, you have to
Maybe
start building
Yogi
up though,
or
because
something.
Turbine doesn't work with AI, so you have to choose a type to break. Yogg would help getting through this Fairchild tree without having to pay all those clicks. So that
Yep,
would probably be my go-to.
I think so, yeah. Oh, choosing Eklan instead.
Actually, also a good solution for the two drafters, and
Yeah,
that's probably the way to challenge the two upgrades on R&D.
yeah, I think that's the idea here. You try to make sure that Lara cannot score out this turn, and that there are two that the two purchase on R&D are gone for next turn.
Yeah, Lara clicking your digital life, going back to 32, and if she has a biotic labor here, she's looking good to score out, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That's by the clever. Yeah, that's so
It
many
is.
credits here.
It's quite likely for her to have it at this point. 7 cards in R&D, so that totally makes sense.
Advance, corp action. Yeah, get double clot. Make your opponent have it at least.
Yeah, but that's the first purge, and
Yeah, get it back
even
online.
with the next install, we have the one copy of Malvirus. I'm assuming there it is.
100%. Yeah, that's tough. Having to go after HQ after to trash all of the purges, and yeah, then just going ahead and scoring a Vacheron. That's so messed up.
Helio meta test turning out amazing. So baiting the runner into trashing the purge upgrades, which is definitely something that Toron had to do
Yeah,
to
you
stay in
just
the
have to
game.
do that. Otherwise, you just get scored on normally.
And the massive recursion that the archives memories and the
Hmm.
corporate hospitality offer are just great for the corp to just play so many of these impactful
Yeah,
events or
100%.
operations.
And switching sides, I think we saw Toron quite a similar CI list actually. And I think Clara is playing just a more reg wizard. I think we have the what's the hardware called?
Respirosites?
Respirosite 100%. Yeah, those is quite of a spicy include. Makes help deal with some combos. I think it actually beats the defective brain chip combo at least. No, it doesn't.
I'm not sure about that one. It's definitely good if you're taking a lot of damage,
Yeah,
and it
it
helps
actually
keeping.
does because I think that if I don't know, never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say I have no clue. Uh,
I would need
that
to
being
actually
said,
look at the cards.
it's good if you use zero a lot. If you go down to very few cards, it helps drawing several
Yeah,
cards.
it's still like a lot of draw, and
Yeah,
you basically can trigger your can vengeance, so even the damage is basically helpful for you.
exactly.
That being
Let's get
said,
into it.
I think we take a mulligan here. Like, okay, rumor mill clan vengeance everything. That's so
Yeah, but
spicy hand, but
not
yeah,
amazing. Get into a little bit more gas, I think.
yeah, and I think Toron was playing quite a similar list what we saw Laria play last round. Scars to click one.
Ooh.
That's not fun.
Current one scarcity definitely something you don't want to see. Although Lara doesn't have any resource right now, but I
No,
mean
but like
she's
you
probably
need to
going to
find
install
your
some.
blue moose as clan win the everything.
Yeah. We don't love what we hit here. Our
No,
Spearside costing 0 is not amazing of an install from
yeah, I think it's
the
still
price.
just. Oh, doesn't take paperclip instead. And yeah, their blue moose not being being way too expensive to actually install.
You hate to see it. Yeah, Toron played a similar list as to what Larea played last game in Phase 2, and I'm expecting something similar. I think
I
the
think
list
so. I
is
think that
proving to be
list was
really good.
basically unbeaten last time.
It went 0-2 in the first week because both of them lost to random accesses on two vanity projects each.
Oh yeah, you might be true actually. Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, the list is definitely proving to be quite tough to face off against.
Clear the draw twice. Soon we have enough money to actually install this blue moose. Although, if you install it into the scarcity of resources, that means that you have to like have it 2 turns or something extra on the table to actually make enough any money out of it.
So we have confirmation from chat. Toron says that Respirosite does beat the Rewiring combo, so that's another reason that Larea is playing in the card.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely makes more sense now.
Going hitting that.
Yeah,
Finding a
to keep
bunker
on
that's still
building.
free even through scarcity.
Quite nice. I think Larea would have loved to find one or more of her clan vengeance by this point. I think going through
Yeah,
half her deck and not finding a single one is definitely not where she wanted to be.
yeah. You need kind of need a early clan vengeance ticking in this matchup, and then you somehow need to be able to like actually use it without opponent being able to hit a Hellion Alpha test or anything on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
definitely a
the CI
matchup
is
that has been switching quite almost like only corp favored. Like I don't know which deck actually beats the CI deck consistently.
I think we've seen criminals deal quite well with
Mm.
CI. The economic pressure is definitely there, although these lists with massive YDLs can get out of hand quicker
Mm.
than the criminals can get the pressure on. It depends a lot on the draw, but the CI is quite scary to face off.
That
A
could be.
really good deck. It helps that they have a very low agent density as well, so
Mm.
it's quite up to chance to find
Yeah.
the agendas you need to win.
Although you do just need to find 2 agendas, so that does help. But
Yeah, the number of accesses you need are definitely a little bit smaller.
mm.
On the start of turn 5, Lara has 3 rows of cards in her archives, in her heap
Mm.
UI here. So, good old Anarch blowing up through her decks.
100%. And then going R&D, start digging with this medium.
I think
Definitely
CI
interested
plays
to see
some
what the ice
quite
suit is.
expensive ice, yeah. So it is annoying for CI to actually res some of these ice early
Mm.
on before your first YDL.
Yeah, I think if it's a like fire child, you still take the hit into your bank account and just press it. No, decided not to. Vanity project off the
Ooh,
top. Skill
yeah,
difference.
that's exactly why you wanted to res, I think. Uh, I mean, obviously, pays off for Larea finding the
Yeah, I mean this is how we have seen world champions fall in this game.
yeah.
Big deal. You take that out also. Then now you
Yeah.
can go back for 3. Decides not to.
I mean, I'm expecting Toron to probably pull it back in hand with one of his tools, one of his recursion tools. But that's something that slows the corp down,
100%.
forces the corp to use those tools on something that's not YDL, and here we see Toron using the corp hospitality on YDL instead of the.
Oh, and R&D is still open as hell.
Yeah, but now we have a lot more credits, so we might be able to res
We
the
do.
eyes.
The question is, Lara has 14 credits.
Yeah, she could definitely fight off a nice res.
Yeah, 100%. I think even multiple times with this bunker being the first one and then go back.
Mm-hmm.
We drew quite a bit of cards, so R&D would be completely empty again.
We're putting the banker on R&D and then challenging
Panic
HQ.
button!
Ooh.
Yup. I think that might be Toron drawing a lot of cards.
Yeah, if Toron has a YDL in hand, and I think he just recurred one with the corporate hospitality, he is more than happy to spend all of his credits drawing up.
Yeah, you can basically draw like every single card here.
If you don't mind spending all your next turn to just play YDL, yeah, that's 100% what's
Yeah,
going
next
to
turn will be
happen.
like play two YDLs, go up to hundreds of credits, and then.
Although to be fair, Toron has less cards in R&D than he has credits.
Oh, true. Also, I think Toron needs to have some cards in there because your game plan is to win with the big deal.
It would take a few turns, yes. And you have to make sure they're not thrashable because Wizard is definitely going to check if he can trash something. So whereas
Yeah, sadly with Panic Button you cannot actually choose what to draw, so might just be that you just leave the agendas in R&D.
yeah, you can choose how many times you do it. So Toron can decide to stop whenever he knows it's safe-ish.
Yeah, get trashing some amount of cards. Vote!
I mean, when credits are not a problem, you can res
Yeah,
a
I mean,
Wotan and just.
that's true. And we see 3 cards here.
Ooh,
Another big
second
deal.
copy of Big Deal.
Not a fun hit, but probably takes it. And
Yeah.
yeah, Toron now with 9 credits, so you cannot probably score out this turn. So you kinda have to like play YDL Ice somewhere.
If Larea finds the Big Deal before Toron gets to use it, that's tough. Although it is starting to become less and less likely if Toron puts it in HQ that Larea finds it with one run.
Oh, Helium Beta Test, yeah, getting hit. So probably losing bunker out.
Yeah, blowing up bunker and the blue moves, so Larea doesn't have that many credits to play with.
Yeah, can get click 9 and run R&D, last click. But probably not worth it in this poor state. Deciding to install the recipes. And the source, yeah, just get the tech online. Tech does mean that you need basically extra big deal per agenda. Because these big deal scoreouts are kind of designed to beat exact credit totals. Or advancement totals, I mean.
We'll see how Toron decides to play this one. He's like scarily close to losing as well. If Larea finds another one of those vanity projects, that's definitely lights out. Although I don't think he'll be particularly sad if Larea steals a Vacheron.
Yep, 100%. And yeah, R&D getting iced even further, making like running there is already seeming quite tough. The clan vengeance does help though, but might be getting alpha tested out. Could be.
It's interesting if Toron has the slots to play both alpha and beta test. That would be.
I mean, the score takes like 9 cards. The rest of your cards can be econ and tech, so
Yeah,
would not be
maybe there are
surprised at
enough.
all.
There are enough slots to play that. Although like the list plays quite a few pieces of ice.
It does. We have seen 3 on the table in like a lot of cards. And I think it's actually not as many ice, it's just all of the ice are these like huge chunguses.
Yeah, they're all massive. You're not wrong.
Like when have you seen Wotan getting rest beforehand?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't think I've seen anyone res Wotan in a while.
I mean, you have seen it sometime? Like ever?
That's some like cube draft.
Okay,
Somebody
that's fair, that's fair.
might have done that.
Gotta respect the cube.
Installing the second clan vengeance is quite scary. It might trigger the Alien Alpha test. I think Larry is banking on the fact that Toron is not playing it.
It does feel like, yeah. Now looking like we're scoring one of the agendas at least.
And Larry thinking and letting the big deal resolve.
Yeah, the first one at least.
That's a GFI. That's not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, I mean, you had the source, so you have to.
Oh, right. But that's not the Vatron we're used to seeing.
Oh, might install the 0 and click it again here.
That would be an interesting play, overloading the Clan Vengeance.
Yeah, the problem is that you might just lose next turn, so you kinda have to maybe run archives now and pop all the clan vengeances. Run archives does look like we're doing that.
Yeah, Lara wishing she had a banker to use all these to take some more damage.
Yeah.
And supercharge the Clan Vengeance.
Oh, just a
CDS with no
CVS!
agenda. Ooh.
Yikes.
Yikes! Yeah,
Yeah, true.
that feels
Agreed.
about right.
About the clever advance. Yeah, there it is. Just missing it out of HQ.
Tough one. I think Lara pulled up. I mean, it was about a 50%, a little bit less, about a 40% of HQ went in the bin. So, not impossible to find the points.
Yeah, Toron saying getting really lucky there. Sometimes that does happen, like Clan Vengeance is like we did get that Clan Vengeance out quite late in the game.
Yeah, they were all three in the bottom 50%. Most of them quite low. So Lorea couldn't charge them quickly enough to get them to a massive size. But there's definitely one way that these CI lists kind of lose. They have to be quick enough to deal with the massive clan vengeances they're currently.
Yeah, I think it's either that or you play the alpha test and hit them with that. That has been the typical other answer.
I wonder if Ba is showing up soon. Speak of the devil. With that, I think I'll leave you to the next game, which is Augustus Caesar against Yizangrin.
Yeah, do you have this watch together on autoplay, or do I start needing to press buttons?
I think as long as Ba can click that, I think you should be good. Otherwise, I think they're on autoplay, so you should be able to just stop as soon as the game. I mean, the next one will start as soon as the previous one ends.
Yeah, I think I also have it on my second monitor.
Awesome, great. With that, I think I'll bow out. Thank you everybody for having me, and I'll leave you to the wonderful voices of Aksu and Baram Wu. Bye, people.
See ya.
Sup, people? It's Baram Axe Wu here.
The second alt account.
Down with the sickness. How's things, actually? Fun game so far.
Yeah, doing good. So, couple of CI games, absolutely. That deck is quite nasty.
Yeah. I mean, Vanity Project has suddenly seemed to pop up out of nowhere as a viable contender, like wildly in decks that want to score out, which
Yeah, a
kind
situation
of-
I would have never have guessed, basically.
yeah, but you know, the minds in Eternal are wild enough to think about that.
Yeah, 100%.
Shall we crack on?
Yeah, we probably should, with daylight savings biting
Okay.
up on our tails. You're in the watch together,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
hopefully.
great.
Pretty sure.
So yeah, Heli Captain, piloted by Yazengren. Seeing couple of interesting cards. Replicator, does that say anything to you?
Yeah, so I think that says that we're probably playing the Panopticon. Yeah, so there we go, we get to see it. So this is a deck I think originally put together by MB Kelly. Quite a while back now, but kind of looks to exploit the idea of Bazaar and Replicator to kind of end up installing, like, you can install about, I think it's about, I can't remember like what the sort of what the max that MBK ever got it to, but this is like a solitaire deck essentially.
Yeah,
you kind of set your engine up and then just click the buttons, and suddenly you have drawn all of your cards and you've made like all the credits which you need in a kind of combo turn.
Yeah, I feel like both decks trying to play the solitaire. Augustus' first turn being click for 3, not what you want to see, but the second turn, Wild level clearance does help a lot. Going for a deep dive, turn 2.
Yeah, Jeff just taking the early defense. We see a no. Okay, sorry for a second there. I thought we saw the 3-1 agenda, which I used to play, which reduced your hand size, but we see it was a defective brain chips. Not hitting there, Yasengrin at all. So probably not an issue, but just worth going for those early deep dives, I think, because you're expecting these CI decks to be on Vacheron.
Yep.
So getting one turn 1 is probably the best turn to get it.
Yeah, like you need one early if you want actually to win with that, basically.
Yeah. And obviously if you're running the gambit that they're on Vacheron and not Ikawa, because that could make you a lot more sad.
Yeah, but Ikawa against deep dive often a thing that does feel quite bad.
Yeah.
Seeing a shipment from Mirrormorph does make sense.
Yeah. There's a hyperdriver. We're definitely, well, I'd say we're probably going to see that installed in the creative. Yeah, that makes sense.
DJ Fenris, I think, going into DJ.
You go Geist.
Yeah, DJ Geist.
Yeah. And then that will allow, along with the tech traders, we're going to draw a card with every trash cost, and pretty much over half of this deck, I think, about 30 out of the 45 cards or something has a trash cost on it. Maybe not quite that many, but enough that you just start wheeling through things very fast, and then you levy and you do it all again.
Yeah, but while Visengrin is trying to play solitaire, Augustus up to 32 credits and presenting this combo threat out already.
Yeah.
I think we saw a defective brain chips in the first deep dive, so I think we're still on that combo.
Yeah, we absolutely did. So we're definitely looking for a kill plan here. I am not confident enough in myself to say whether Sports Hopper could deal with that. I think it all happens in the same sort of...
It's all in one playability window. Basically, Sports Hopper makes your opponent pay 3 more with the brain rewiring.
Yeah, so not really tech here.
No.
Interestingly, the Pantopticon Haley didn't exist, or when it was first made, we didn't have things like Stone Ship Chart Room in the card pool. So I wonder if that's managed to find its way into this.
I feel like it probably
deck.
would be there. We see an all-nighter. That's probably a way to get deep dives online.
Yeah, that's actually like a pretty good card, which I've suddenly realized I should have possibly pay a bit more attention to, because you obviously have hyperdriver, but hyperdriver is very awkward when it comes to MU, and you tend to just pop off your early hyperdrive. You can't afford to sit on them like your rotage.
It's not really a combo card currently, just more
No.
like get tempo out. And we might be just going for the kill here.
Yeah, I mean, talking about combo cards, we're seeing shipment from Miramorph, so 3 things getting installed. That is most likely
Does
an
look like it.
agenda, a
Yeah,
Gypstad.
by the Kleber advanced 3 times. There it is.
Just no way to dodge this that's on board.
Yeah, brain chips into dupe study. Still on the same old combo, but gets the kill done still. Is Angrin maybe getting a bit unlucky draws, I think, here. Not being able to set up quite as well as we would hope. And this deck just kind of blows you up pretty early if you cannot do something to stop it.
Yeah, and it's that kind of that classic thing where you can't even lock the top of a deck or anything like that because it's CI, so all the stuff is pretty much in hand.
Yeah,
also, you're saying Jeff
just
missing out on
so much.
Yeah, Jeff missing out on that deep dive. Like you certainly would want to hit at least one agenda there. You preferably want to hit a brain chips. Like ideally, you just pick up one of the 2 brain chips so that it takes longer for Augustus to draw into them. So next up, it looks like we've got Augustus running here with Wizard. I think. Oh no, he switched to Woo for a short time, didn't he?
But, 1 week and went back to the fun ideas.
Yeah.
no bias here. And yeah, you're thinking back probably up combo, I would assume.
Yeah, I'd also certainly assume so. He's
oh yeah, and you're thinking probably up combo, rolling the worst possible matchup here. I think rumor we probably might see the second thing that happened last week when Alex played against Ysengrin, and we just see this rumor will get installed and basically win the whole game by itself.
Yeah, but we did see Jeff on some pretty nice tech actually. So Jeff does have a copy of the News Now Hour in this deck.
We do.
I
don't think that's enough, but
it's possibly not. But it does add. It's clearly the one thing that this Ob deck loses to is rumor mills. So the fact that Jeff's gone for a line of I'm gonna try and find a way of maybe shoring up that matchup.
It also might be that we might have cut the News an hour. I think another option for these kind of combo decks is just to play 1 copy of Body Kleber. That lets you combo through the situation,
but it's just I think the problem with that is that Rumor Mill doesn't just stop your combo, it turns off all of your cards. All of your like econ and your the cards which push you forward, your Rashidas, your little guy that you trash and get a Rashida with. Like basically like
everything
so
basically 100%.
Yeah. I think with the exception of the Commercial Bankers group, which is not going to stick around against a Wizard deck anyway.
We see a Jeeves on the table. That might be doing something.
Yeah, Augustus too poor to. Pretty rare to see Wizard too poor to trash something, but in this case, Augustus not quite got the econ online yet. But this Desperado and Rozeki is gonna really help out with that as an issue.
Yeah, Desperado being able to run, just clear everything on the table. We saw Jeeves on server 5 getting blanked by Rumor Mill, so you don't have to worry about it that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Desperado lets you check these while getting credits as well. Just Desperado is such a great card, even if it's quite unassuming.
Yeah, I mean, this is what criminals would absolutely love to have back. Penny Shaver is just not quite it.
Yeah, it's interesting that the difference is so felt when you have to actually click for it versus you actually just get it raw.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a few things, like there's nothing worse than accidentally getting your full penny shaver bounced by an Amani Senai, or
that hurts.
It's weak to a few other things, whereas Desperado's never going to have that issue of
Yeah,
to a point.
Interestingly, we don't install the zero to be safe first. Might have been a scary situation, but maybe that's more scary when you actually install the thing.
CVS.
Yeah,
Just
CVS. I don't think there actually is any like non-unique things you probably would get with it. Maybe something like you just get a tour guide online somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've. No, Jeff is on tour guide.
Yeah, surely. I mean, every object is surely on tour guide.
Yeah, possibly.
Every asset
it's like,
specifically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, it really shows how much this rumor mill is doing. The fact that we have a CVS that's been sitting in a server for about 3-4 turns has not been cracked to get the ob trigger. Like it's shows a huge.
Yeah, rumor mill as a card just is so busted.
Absolutely.
Find a second clan vengeance. That's a pretty tough situation when you start having multiple clan vengeance online.
Absolutely.
Oh, we get the Augustus card.
Oh, did we just see a councilman there in?
I think we did. Yeah.
I think we did. And this Hannah is gonna just give back just so much back. I mean, again, it's like Hannah plus Desperado.
Yeah, that feels so good to do. You just get your one extra free round to go and trash something with Wizard and get your everything back.
Yeah, it's like a 5-click fit, like the amount of value you're getting off Wizard Desperado, the Hannah itself, it's really kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit absurd. Again, we just can run server 9, go check it. Zengrin kind of had to probably feed this SSL endorsement just to start getting credits, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Katorga breakout in hand. So yeah, if you Zengrin now finds the death and taxes, I think, or paywall implementation.
I think it's paywall.
Yeah, probably. So paywall implementation. There it is, and Katorga back out. That's so nasty. What you?
Gonna come straight back, and it's not even like you can, like Katorga is a run. Yeah, that's fine, but it's not like we can't make a run very easily on this board state.
Yeah, you can just go Arcast anywhere basically. I think you probably clear the Spin Doctor out first, just to go find it.
Possibly.
Oh, probably this Spin Doctor probably is not around on your turn, I think.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that's right. Like, because Jeff would need to pop it immediately.
Oh, I think it's up already. Also.
Okay. I mean, call it. When we see this Katorga land, then the spin probably gets popped at that point. Probably just calling out the fact that 2 are in the bin, right? So there's probably not 1 in hand.
I feel like like realistically, I think I just want this.
This is bold. Because I mean, this could be a border control, and it is a border control.
Oh, that's so tough for Augustus.
That is a classic Augustus, incredibly aggressive play.
Yeah, get punished by hubris.
Yeah, just like really gets punished. Potentially, like I guess he probably can break a tour guide. Jeff would have to res like everything.
Yeah, we see action here also. Do we see a blank effect? No, just instantly firing this.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. Did Jeff have a window here?
Did we do it before encounter for some reason?
I wonder. Yeah, I'm trying to work out if there's a reason why Jeff doesn't want Augustus to get the paperclip on board during encounter before subroutines fire.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, basically, I was just asking because I think on Janet, Disengrin triggered it a bit early, but after we have encountered the ice already, bunker has been turned off, so you can't get through R&D this turn safely.
Oh, okay, yeah, because of a banker, right?
I think that's
Taking
it.
down Amalia, that's pretty big.
And we do have a lot of draw in the hand, so might be just going to find the second rumor mill. But I think we're open for the combo turn now.
Yeah,
Actually,
although Jeff
not.
only
No,
has
yeah,
one
just
res
yeah. And
card,
I
but
know we know that both of on the tables are Jeeves, so you can just
yeah.
get 4 damage out with this hand, I believe.
Could you do double? I mean, it's not actually going to kill, ironically, but you could do double high profile, right?
And you don't have clicks for that, I believe.
That is true.
Maybe if you do like
Um,
mutually assured destruction, biotic, HPT.
not enough credits for that.
Yeah, the credits start to be issue at that point.
Okay, so Augustus has a chance here to find the 20 other copies of Rumor Mill that he's playing. I'm sure we see.
Yeah, actually, I think we might have enough credits for the combo. I think it's 12 credits if you do the aforementioned line.
Yeah, but it's just res cards, isn't it? Res cards is the problem here.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, not going for the combo turn this game.
Okay, now that's scary. Because also Augustus doesn't really want to force any ice to be resed here.
No, I feel like the thing you would hope here is that you draw these. I've had verses into the rumor mill, not finding it on
Yeah.
the first one. We still can dig with the second one though.
Otherwise, I think he's probably happy leaning on the 2 clan vengeances. I don't think Jeff's got a way of turning them both off.
Yeah, could be. SDS getting installed here is definitely interesting. Also, I think if you rest Jeeves, you get hit by the Clan Vengeance, and that means that you cannot combo on that turn. So yeah,
Yeah.
just this op deck. Wizard deck is such a miserable opponent for this op deck. This Ingrid rolling into a bad matchup twice in a row, basically. And this op deck is considered like I think one of the best decks in the format, at least before the ASL. Like I think the recent.
I think it. Yeah, I think it's still it. You know, if you want to play the best deck, then you either play you're probably playing this or you're playing CI.
Yeah, I think so.
Right now.
Yeah, the problem with this deck specifically is that you have just an absolute miserable matchup into Wizard, basically.
Yeah, yeah. So it's you're really looking to sort of dodge that matchup. Taking down one of the Jeeves here.
Yeah, I think
Next
we might
turn,
be going for
probably
the second
taking
one
about
also.
the other.
Just go take it out. No, deciding to go server 10 instead.
Interesting.
Do
So
we
having to
know
install
anything
the
that's in
Black
there?
Orchestra from hand. Calls it correct though. That's a great call.
Yeah, it doesn't have
Can break
credits for
them.
the second one, but I think this op deck is quite known that there just are not any face checks in there.
Yeah, it looks like a tour guide here. Otherwise, no reason for the reses.
Yeah.
It's gonna be just enough.
Yeah, cannot install the MK Ultra and break in the same turn. There is a question if Bisengri goes and pops this Rashida. If we pop both Clan Vengeances and make Bisengri go down to 0 cards.
Yeah. Well, I think we only. Well, no. Yeah, we can pop the lot, can't we? And it looks like Augustus definitely is planning on doing at least one of them.
Yeah, one.
Maybe just that 5.
I think
Probably
you can
enough
probably
now.
put one in, and if we see like click on draw, I think we send the second one. Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well called. And I'm pretty sure that, and I mean, either Augustus just runs archives this turn, or he's going to install this other Clan Vengeance and then click 0, run somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like it's now we just started forcing R&D. We have seen already 6 points out from the deck. Probably, I would assume, a win right here. Yeah, second SSR
Yep,
endorsement.
good enough. I mean, rumor mill pretty big there, but even just the pressure that
Yeah, like an
Augustus
asset
had.
deck that gets this, like you get three free credits a turn, and it's a combo deck as well. So like every single thing that Wizard does well are things that kind of hurt the open deck.
Yeah. Are you able to pause this a second?
Yeah,
I think
100%.
we should probably very quickly talk about
None.
what we're seeing on screen. Firstly, we got a quick view there of what Jai has brought for this third phase. Because we've got Max, and we saw 2 copies of Hive Mind in his original deck there. So we're going to see an eternal version of the sort of Hive Mind Max, which is just one of the most fun decks from several metas ago now. But
yeah, definitely up there.
Looks to just put together an absolutely nutty combo of having a Hive Mind on top of a Progenitor, a Knob Curie installed, and then kind of just building up counters on the Hive Mind, which then just allow you to do nonsense things with Fermenters and Turtle. And in the previous deck, it would have been Conduit, but here you don't have to pay for Conduit because you can play Medium, and it gets really quite silly.
Yep.
And then we have a Fool deck.
Yeah,
by off 15.
who nobody knows what it actually does. So
we are at 54 cards,
yeah,
notably.
maybe an asset deck with like Museum of History. Who knows? I think we will get some idea after we jump into the game.
Yeah, let's go in, because this is. I mean, I'd love to take a guess, but I have no idea what.
Yeah, we can sit here for the entire day just guessing. Also,
Um,
Jai on a solid 69 cards.
Oh yeah, we're max. Fine.
I mean, if you're doing like Hive Mind Max things, like, doesn't that like reduce the point?
I mean, we'll see. There is a ton more draw available.
Okay, there's
and
the
you can
Progenitor,
play-
so yeah, it's probably Hive Mind Max.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely. I think we saw 2 Hive Minds in the original one. I mean,
I
look at
didn't
this.
look.
We've got moshing with 2 steel skins here.
Yeah.
This is gonna draw. Jai already pointing out that this is a silly opening. Going for the gamble into drawing just a ludicrous amount.
Yeah. Oh, Rebirth turn 2?
Yeah, I think you want to stay as max.
Yeah, no. Yeah, still getting the blue moose online, and probably playing a gamble or something, or get a fermenter rolling or anything.
Yeah, I think you're probably fermenting here. Let's see.
Both options are totally fine, I think. You kind of maybe want the fermenter if you get to Hive Mind at some point.
Yeah, you also want to have like programs installed that you can trash for the simul chips. So that's definitely something.
Yeah. Estel Moon being
this is
kept
a
on the
big,
table, that's so
huge-
much value.
Wow.
Jai,
I
brother,
mean,
why didn't you even draw into the rumor mill?
yeah, this is also with and a warm reception here. So we're gonna get a number of installs. Some of them clickless.
Yeah, I mean, that's some
with
value.
waybreakers as well. Oh.
The biggest Estel Moon ever.
I mean, off 15 might have solved Fule's credit issues here.
I will not say that before I actually see more of this match, but
Yeah.
the start is looking absolutely amazing here. This is why we play Wizard and just run everything turn 1.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Hive Mind Max is very good at trashing one thing a turn for absolute free using imps, but ironically, a lot of the cards here are reasonably low in terms of their sort of trash costs.
Yeah.
Like the Estelle Moon isn't going to stick around the minute you run it. So
yeah, and I think like imp in to get rid of these wage workers would make sense here.
Kind of, but it's 2 clicks for what's essentially 4 credits, right? I wonder if
It is, but you need to get rid of this, and I think you also then get one more imp counter and everything. But yeah, deciding actually we have to get rid of this warm reception.
Mm.
And yeah, question is, do we kill this wage worker as well? Does look like it, yeah.
Deciding not to go with the imp. There is always the fact that you stick down the imp, you run the wage workers, and off 15 reses like a Cyberdex virus suite, and you're down 2 credits instead of being up 4.
Yeah, that is definitely is an option. Raising the second wage workers.
Just coming back.
Yeah, are we just installing 3 again? Does look like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure only an hour ago, one of you, either you or Warlock, was saying, well, it looks like only Silent has brought this sort of asset spam purple this round, but absolutely not the case.
I could have been. I was hopeful.
Yeah, Jai looking like he's going to hit the price here. I would want to be getting that progenitor down first, just in case you price into exactly the hive mind, but we don't here. So getting a Knob Curry down for 2 credits or 1 credit, maybe 2.
And now the imp install starts looking way better, I think.
It does. I mean, even just the Knob Curry onto the fermenter feels
yeah,
fine,
it does,
probably.
100%.
Jai considering here. He's definitely gonna. Also, like, we've got to remember that the other reason for the imp here, which is gonna feel really good, is that we're playing against Fule. So, like, we got to be careful when we run, in case all of a sudden we take a core damage or 2 out of nowhere, and we're assuming that core damage is going to feature somehow in this matchup. We just don't quite know how yet.
Yeah, surely somehow. Getting counter on the fermenter, basically saying to 15-15 that you have to purge next turn or I'm getting millions of credits with this shit.
Yeah.
Like even next turn you can do something like run imp Nobker, put the fermenter counter on with Nobker and get it on 12 credits.
Yeah.
Rashida?
I mean, see second Rashida fired from the board.
A Moombed Temple does make sense. Solid econ card into Jeeves. At least we took care of all the wage workers, so there's not infinite amount of clicks, just a lot of them.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to get install free. Seems my runner.
Helps a lot, thanks.
Wild. Got to bring those extra large deck boxes.
Yeah, deciding to just install 3.
And an advance.
Yeah, that's advance is interesting.
Are we going to see a salvo testing scored? That's what I'm interested in. Cybernetics core, okay. Hand size.
Yeah,
very
cybernetics
useful.
Core is interesting.
Don't have to discard here.
It's at least fun that you don't have to pay as much influence to actually trash it. You think we might have something like the buffer drive in max?
I don't think it needs it.
Yeah, probably not in this deck, but like in some max decks.
Yeah, it might even. You probably don't. It might even be on levy, you know. Like it probably doesn't kind of want to be because like this particular deck just always wanted to get to the bottom of the deck quite quickly and then use laborites to get the 3 best cards, which were almost always free simul chips. With a few exceptions, but yeah, we'll kind of see. Getting rid of this Jeeves feels very important. We'll probably have to look for a second Jeeves / wave workers I'm kind of assuming from the looks of things that we're playing a full set of both. Like
It does
we
look
might well
like
be
it,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get 12 credits out of this though, lets you go trash like cybernetics card or something.
I think you're checking the rest of the board.
Would make sense, like, yeah. I think 14, 12 are kind of like key servers. You would love to get into server 7, but just not able to.
Yeah, clone suffrage suggests that we're probably on friends, and like we haven't really seen points yet. I don't believe.
Yeah.
Moons. We've seen moons. Okay, so
We have
moons
seen
is 3
moons,
points.
yeah. Oh, Lakshmi. Yeah,
Oh,
basically really similar deck as
very
the
similar.
ETF that we saw.
So we're like really interestingly, like essentially, we could assume that this is, not necessarily card for card, but almost card for card the same. And we see an FCOM score, which was in the previous one, just with a different slant where ETF silent looking for that additional forward momentum, and off 15 looking for the reverse slow down the momentum of the runner somehow, kind of make them a bit more wary of where they're running. We're still somewhat assuming that maybe it's just the fact that we're on the 4-2, which becomes less with core damage, and that might just be enough of a win con, because we've got other ways of fast advancing out the rest.
It could be, yeah. Try playing 69 cards and not finding the hive mind or anything.
No, I don't. I think right now you're quite set up with almost everything that you need, right? You probably want the cookbook here.
Couple of main combo pieces, I think. Like a cookbook here, absolutely wonderful. We play the tranquilizer, which kinda is like a worse version of the parasite.
No, I think that the original deck played a tranquilizer, and I can see it
because parasite has rotated.
No, but
no, don't try to
when you've
wiggle
got
your way
hive
out.
mind, no, because unless your hive mind's got like 10 counters on it, if you run into something which is really big, like the tranquilizer is probably way better into certain matchups, like for instance your blue sun, and certain MTI decks, things like that, where they're kind of like really want that one really big piece of ice, and you can just shut it down instantly. It can be very rude.
Yeah, and just being able to just clear the table here. Max apparently having a bit more money than the Apex deck.
Just a little bit, just the smallest amount more.
Yeah, no, shocking. Time to discard something feels like. Yeah, strike fund has to go.
That's fine.
Everything else is bit too important.
Also, like worth noting, a couple of points here spent on Deja Vu, which just seem, is a disgusting card in Hivemind Max, where you are playing a lot of viruses, and where Deja Vu has often been used to recur a single very powerful card. Being able to get back 2 viruses with it is really quite disgusting.
Deja Vu kinda not seen in normal decks because Katorga Breakout is a worse version, but doesn't cost influence points.
But here makes sense, and I can kind of see what Jai's done here, because I tried to build this deck in Eternal, and finding the slots, like finding the cuts to try and get it down to anywhere close to 45 or even 48 just seemed impossible. And Jai's just gone, it doesn't need to be possible. I'm just gonna play them all. I'll just play all the cards, and then 100%. We're already more than halfway through our deck, so it's working out. Okay, not playing the friends, maybe realizing that it would put because we have a shipment from Miramorph in hand.
Mm. Just playing shipments from Mirror fairly. Install 3. Oh, into Friends High Place. Yeah, that's huge value. A free Lakshmi. Currently not able to actually contest any remote.
I mean, the irony here that Jai has the best possible tech against a Lakshmi deck is not lost on me. I don't know if we see our hive mind there. We haven't drawn into a single botulus yet, which is something which hive mind Max really would like to have access to.
I think Joe actually might have milled.
He has milled all of the chips of all kinds.
A skill difference.
Yeah. Again, he's kind of not been needing them at this point, but they are a very, very powerful and important part of the deck makeup. So.
They are, yeah.
And influence-wise, that's 10 influence there and 3 influence on Tranquilizer, which means that he's not on a levy. We're probably assuming that the other influence is something like an Amakua and maybe even a DJ Fenris here. Oh no, it would be the Rebirth, wouldn't it? So the Rebirth is 1. So it might just be Amakua and Rebirth, or maybe we've gone without Amakua because it is pointed. There might be something else being used as a breaking solution.
Yeah, 100%. Just thinking, doing a cheating activity. And yeah, that's like feels like a difficult situation where you just keep milling all your chips here. Basically has to probably spend labor rights to get all those back in, and other recursion as well. First going to take care of this Mumba temple though. Also pre-racing this clone suffrage movement, so
I think that's just to get the Lakshmi counter and to use the Mumba temple.
Yeah, that does make sense. Also, the problem is like Jai can just go and trash that, although it does tax.
Absolutely should.
It does tax a amount of things that you can do. Yeah, clone suffrage movement, like probably the second best of the political assets from third best political asset from Mumbad.
With the best being Senses?
I think Senses into bioethics, into bankers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like instantly as I went to say it, I remember that all the others are busted as well.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty. They're like really quite broken.
100%. Yeah.
We see a tall guy here.
Getting rest. Oh, we have Amkaltra in the bin. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not too much.
2 strength is fine.
If this is an agenda, we can't steal it. Oh, we can steal it.
Yeah, we didn't use Lakshmi
because because obviously Luminal is the one agenda that we that there can't be a second one of in hand because of for Lakshmi.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Jai, I think, has already used Imp here. Has he not?
I think we trashed everything with credits beforehand, and Knobgrey got the Imp back to be like full.
I mean, really respecting the core damage here, I'd be semi-tempted because obviously with the Spin Doctor on board, the Lakshmi is safe here.
It is
as much as it is.
I mean, I think you put the Luminal out. Like, I think Jai is in a mode where like we're just trying to build this engine here, and after we have set everything up, the asset deck kind of falls apart against us.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, there's no need for Jai to win right now. He just needs to make sure he's not losing.
And yeah, getting rid of Luminal does do that excellently. Also, I think we can just keep another Cybernetics division. I think we can go take care of that problem maybe. depends on what we mill. There's a parasite.
And we are on Amakua. Okay, so now I think we know the entire influence.
Yeah, I think Amakua probably really
of
great
Jeff.
with the hive mind.
Yeah, this tour guide is very sad to see a parasite in the hand there.
Yeah, at some point definitely. 015, I think Jab probably again going and trashing everything. You can put a counter on Imp and Fermenter. Okay, this first one getting out of here. I think Jai probably fine letting this Lakshmi Smart Fabrics exist on the table here. And just, yeah go kill the Cybernetics court and take care of the Lakshmi as on a later date after you have had more credits back. And
yeah, and even with the infinite imp combo, like it's really like kind of not gonna do much for off 15.
Yeah, although now off 15 on 2 credits, so it's kind of free situation to go and trash. So this line also does make sense.
Yeah.
Then installing the rat makes you just have it on table, get your friends to generate you a bit of money, and I think Max probably not running out of targets to keep spam out.
No, like I see, next turn Jai probably deletes this tour guide from existence with the parasite, checks to the 7.
Yeah, then you can just also put a counter on Fermenter, get 10 credits up. Hitting out the Gatchop on the medium.
Yeah.
Not your most fun hits, but you have to live with it.
Like we're still probably being slightly cautious of the Fule text, so sort of you don't necessarily want to start going for a big medium dig quite yet.
Yeah, no, I think medium probably not in the cards in this matchup.
Finally getting his progenitor down.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we really need some recursion, forgetting that we have a deja vu in hand.
And labor rat.
Oh yeah, but deja vu potentially getting the medium back into hand.
I think hive mind especially getting in hand and fermenter does makes yeah. Progenitor hive mind starts to roll this engine up. Maybe I think another option is like hive mind Aumakua.
I don't think ice is a problem right now. So
yeah,
like we've got this botulus in hand if we really need it. Like off 15 not really showing much ice as it is, like it's probably on only a small amount.
Yeah, interested if we actually, I don't think we had enough influence to play Rumor Mill in this deck probably. Eternal Points I mean.
Yeah, wow, so we're taking the FCOM clicked here so that we can draw free, getting Wage Workers click off the FCOM, getting Wage Workers click off the draw. Now probably installing, getting a Wage Workers click off the install.
Yeah, absolutely exploding on the table. 10 credits, 5 cards on Estel Moon. Get a rest Wage Worker, also install so many cards on the table. That's so wild.
And that was from 4 credits, I think.
Yeah.
Like just silly.
We do a second Rumor Mill in the bin. Try not drawing into it. Just give 15 a bit of time, yeah. Fear hit the Estel Moon out. It's just too much of a blow up if you don't.
Yeah. You absolutely need to, and with
yeah, just starting to actually get pushed back here a bit. Like now we have to like get this fermenter empty, start running the table, and you don't have time to put this 5 mind on the table and get it set up.
I mean, I think it actually there's a bit of a problem with the hive mind as well, because the most important thing that you're recharging at the moment is the imp. And so the hive mind doesn't play very well there because you'd have to remove the counter.
Yeah, it's
So I don't actually know if you're getting a huge amount.
yeah,
out
probably
of
not
the
on this
hive
board
mind.
state, I think.
No. But you probably do need to click this fermenter for some money and then start challenging here. Jai's going to want to get rid of his wage workers, but that looks like the trickiest thing to deal with right now.
Yeah, and taking this fermenter out first. Does look like. We're hovering over it and thinking.
So we've got 3 clicks to check 4 cards.
Yeah, and I think if you don't get rid of the wage workers, there will be 4 more cards next turn.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I don't know if we've got all the breakers in the bin yet, so like we'd potentially need to install this botulus as well, which is awkward.
Yeah, on a face down.
So an extra click. Trash in a Lakshmi.
Yeah, Lakshmi's getting rushed out of just 4 credits. Then has to spend. This has to go.
I mean, you've got to trash
yeah,
that.
that has to go. And the last one, successful field test.
Oh.
Did we imp it? Yeah, last click, so yeah, just has to imp it again. All 3 spins are gone already, so
yeah,
that does
I
mean
mean
that 2 agendas, but I think this HB deck probably full of recursion anyways.
Yeah, you've even got friends, right? Like you could technically friends it back, I think. Not particularly safely, but definitely a thing. So yeah, that Jai really, if he missed the successful field test there, then off 15 really pops off next turn, scoring out and probably installing most of his hand just straight onto the board, and making it very challenging for Jai to then find everything that he'd need to find. We saw a warm reception earlier. I wonder if there's also working prototypes in here, because kind of feel like working prototype is a reasonably powerful card in Eternal, where resources are a lot more relevant than
yeah,
in
the
standard.
issue is, I think maybe it's more like just card to deal with their resources. Like the credits, you don't need that much, I think. So it's competing a lot with different assets that you can just install, and those keep generating value without you having to click them and like use them.
I guess so. I guess the click to use it is probably the biggest issue here. So we're seeing another friends played here. So 5 new cards on the table.
Yeah, install 4 again. Actually,
yes,
install
4
5
new cards. No, yeah, because wait, was 24 already there? Maybe 24 was already there. Install.
Yeah, I think 24 was there from last turn. We see the yellow outlines, so I think we're just deciding on the second.
We just
card.
haven't. Yeah, we just haven't seen the second trigger here. Jai's money starting to run out. Kind of needs to get this fermenter down.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have infinite money to trash stuff here.
No. And again, this is like you can trash stuff for free once a turn, but that's once a turn. And when you're seeing 4 or 5 threats put out every single turn to deal with, one a turn is not enough.
Yeah, it's also that agendas have to be piling up somewhere here, realistically. We have seen more than half of the deck already, and just 2 points out of the game. I mean, 2 points are in archives currently. So...
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of assuming that this feels like it's going to be a sort of deck that's on GFI. It's like it seems like quite a regular agenda suite, if you know what I mean. It's just the good. It's all the good like tempo or agendas which you'd want to sort of score out as a tempo HB deck. So kind of not leaning into the Fule idea of like, you know, playing lots of small agendas or anything along those lines. But we still haven't seen enough to be really sure about that, because like you say, we just haven't seen agendas. We've seen, technically we've seen 3 agendas in the game so far.
Technically, yeah.
Oh, we saw a nerve agent in the bin there. That's
definitely a card with the hive mind.
Yeah, but do you want? Can you bring that one up, because that I can't even remember exactly what
it's just medium for HQ, I think.
Medium for HQ, yeah. And like triggers when you run HQ, I think you put a counter on it. Or
understanding we see nerve agent here. Yeah, I don't think I know it on top of my head. Like Tacticat blew me the hell out with it in the Netrunner, so that
really?
leaves a scar.
Yeah, I mean that's insane when you've got a big hive mind and you're just, you know, say you've got five counters on a hive mind.
Yeah,
and
you run
install
HQ
that
and
in a
just
medium,
blow them
and
up.
you see 5 from each is kind of crazy. Okay, clone suffrage probably has to go, but at least
credits.
Cheap enough.
Oh, we rebirthed into Wizard.
I missed that.
Wizard rebirth is interesting here. Like, yeah, just get 3 crits a turn.
I mean, I think totally cromulent would be the best way to put it, because right now all we need to do is trash stuff. We've got most of our engine up and running. You know, we potentially don't need to draw much for the rest of the game. Finding a GFI, we are able to steal that.
Yeah, we're also just able to imp it. Like, there's no spin doctors anymore, so you can just like start imping these, and they have to use their really limited recursion.
Yeah.
On those.
Team sponsorship,
yeah,
that would.
I think we left over a Moons and a Jeeves. That feels way scary though. Like, I think we might see something like install 6 or 7 cards here. Imagine install 5 into friends.
But Jai only needs to find one more agenda and then just run archives, right? So
we have 4 points in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So 2 more. Technically 2 more.
Yeah. Depends on if there's like a random eco, and I was wrong, but I would assume that we have needed 2 more points. Yeah. Installing Jeeves. And yeah, just doesn't have enough stuff in hand, so has to draw up first.
Draw. We obviously see a third draw because the click to draw gains a click.
Yeah.
And
then installing 2, I think.
Yeah, I don't think, unless there's something like a RLC or a subliminal or something, I don't think there's a way of really getting another click here. But just shipment from Livermorph will do it. That will install enough.
That's so much.
Including 3. Ice.
That's kind of sickening. And yeah, Paladin up to 3 because Jai has been just forced into running every single server every turn.
Yeah, I mean, Paladin probably sees himself out here. Like,
you can also just install Hive Mind with 1 click and keep the Paladin around.
Yeah.
Also, like, I think Fermenter probably should have gone at some point, like, gone up.
But here, you know, like you've got to contest this moons. Otherwise, next turn it's gonna be really silly.
Yeah. Also, Jeeves
You
probably, like, you really need to kill that, and Wage Worker. Like, every single card here is getting so much, like, tempo for the HP deck.
yeah. It looks like Jai's considering running their Ice Remote, which I mean, off 15 is only on 3 credits. Now, obviously, there's a moons there, so we've click listed 6 if we want it. But like nothing particularly scary here. You know, the worst thing that we're gonna come across is a tour guide, which we don't currently have a way
I
of
think,
dealing
like,
with.
moons pop into, if we see, like, the Fairchild 3 could be an issue.
Could be, but I think that would be
No, yeah,
all of
just the tour guide.
15's
I
money
mean,
as
that's
well.
still, yeah. A 2-cost ice that needs you to spend 6 credits to get through.
Yeah, I mean this, and R15 doesn't really need to res anything else to get the value unless he could. He is considering it, but I think there's enough here. So unless R15's got some really cheap, worthwhile to res assets on board, then he probably just sticks with the like 6 credit tax, which does seem pretty good.
Yeah,
You can't lean into tour guide
yeah.
too much here because we know that there are parasites in the deck.
Yeah, like, it's tough when Jai hasn't still gotten, like, the engine set up. I don't think this game we probably even do. Like, this game is basically us just using Nobcore and Imp to try and win the game.
Oh yeah. Okay, off 15. Either still considering whether to res here, or we did notice that he was having some server issues.
Yeah, connection issues on JNet never fun, but you live with them, I guess.
Do you think if one of these is an agenda, you push it behind the tour guide, or do you put the agenda out on the table and
surely you put it behind the tour guide? Otherwise, you might just, like, you realistically just cannot afford for Jai to have 6 points in archives, basically for free.
Very true.
Like, at that point, your only only helper is going to be the clone suffrage movement. Other than that, it's kind of over.
Has R15 lost a game yet?
Yeah, I believe
he lost
R15 lost one game like a week ago, I think, or something. Yeah,
okay.
But R15 definitely in the lead with like 27 points. Encounters, actually goes through here. Yeah, going stealing efficiency committee. R15 maybe should have pressed the card there, like other cards.
I don't know if he can necessarily afford to. Yeah, I think at this point you're just starting to take core because there's not been any reason not to.
Yeah, true.
And I think Jai wants the clicks to check these other servers. Yeah, so
does make sense.
Lakshmi can probably stay. Oh, of course.
Yeah,
we
with
can
Wizard.
With Wizard. Yeah. Challenging the moons next. It looks like. Then maybe we're gonna go and check 30.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. Like, I think you imp Jeeves maybe, and then go check 30.
Yeah. But you've got to force this moons out. So
yeah, you do. Like, Jai probably really wants the wheels here, realistically. But
yeah. 100%.
yeah, moon's getting popped.
So now we are checking the 30.
Yeah, interesting. Wage
Wage
workers,
workers,
you
you
probably
might-
imp it
you might as
because
well imp it, yeah.
imp will accrue the counter next turn anyway. Yeah, I think Jai probably not going for the engine plan during this game at all. Selling out the MK Ultra, the classic. You, like your rat just going to take little bites out of your bean breakers.
The days of Paladin always felt so broken to me just because trashing a bin breaker
That feels
never
so
felt
good.
like
I
a
want it
cost
back.
at all.
Give it back.
No,
Let me play
it's
good
like,
decks.
it should be a cost to do this. Again, we're getting 5 cards on the board. It's just every turn there's 5 cards coming down that Jai has to consider dealing with.
Yeah, the problem, like,
You know,
at least 2 of these you kind of know, but like, yeah, it's
one of them
real
is
difficult.
successful field test, so that's gone into 32. So this is off 15 saying you can't break this tour guide this turn.
Yeah, the problem is like if you see one parasite, you win the game.
Yeah, but with no draw, and we didn't install Parasite last turn.
Oh yeah, no.
So Jai
no, Max
Jai
Dragon,
either
yeah.
has to like draw first click for a Parasite or a way of getting a Parasite.
Yeah, skill diff.
But that's probably like, you know, I think you're better off playing Laborites, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And even
Like labor rights
You-
into 3 chips.
yeah, but even then, like, that's 2 clicks before you're even challenging any of this board, and you know,
Yeah.
if you're not careful, then off 15 is going to score this successful field test next turn. One of these cards on board could be the 3rd Rashida, and all of a sudden it's a very, very different game.
Yeah, 100%. Might be kind of like the first time OR 15-15 is actually comfortable in this board. Feels like
Yeah.
every other turn here has been like OR 15-15 trying to find the table like space to actually do something, but Jai has been just relentlessly like kept clearing everything out. We saw, yeah, successful field test and the Lakshmi get installed with the friends in high places, so just 2 points in archives as well.
I've just realised that you could also be on Audrey in this deck. Progenitor like stops MU issues, right? Not yeah.
Does it? No shot.
I don't think Jai is, but it would make some sense. Right, we're picking a, or it looked like we're picking a server. We might just look at okay. Worth noting, there are 10 cards left in R&D.
Mhm.
If we can find a second imp, is there a chance that we can just mill off 15 out? We could trash like 3 cards a turn.
This would be close.
The problem is that the successful field test, assuming that off 15 has some money, so does need something on board which is gonna pop off for money next turn. If he has that, then this successful field test score potentially threatens the game next turn. But he has to score it first. Okay, well that's money.
Yeah, Mumba Temple, you just spend wizard credits for free.
Off 15, choose it. A lot of times when people run a Mumba Temple, you res it to res other cards to get the value. But off 15 here, knowing that his game plan here is to not give away any information to Jai, force Jai to run every one of these servers if he wants to be sure that that he's got everything that he needs to get hold of.
Yeah, 100%. And Jai's econ has been basically carried through the entire game by like a couple of fermenters and this blue moose that has removed 11 cards from the game.
Warm reception. Just trashing for money. Good old NSG trash costs.
Hype.
So we can, like, we've still got an imp to use. So we're probably just, we see a food.
Do we take a second core here?
Yeah, I think we're just taking a core. Again, we still haven't seen any reason not to yet. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't a reason not to.
Yeah, totally. I think it's the plan here is like take a core and go trash the Jeeves, I feel like, with the imp.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think the Jeeves does enough. So I think you're going 36. But we'll find out.
No, but like imp is... If you score the successful field test, you also get a click back, extra click with it. And everything. Also selling the progenitor is kind of funny. Like, just let this rat go. It clearly doesn't like you.
Yeah, I think right now I'd rather have the progenitor so that I have a program on board in case I happen to find a symbol chip.
Yeah.
But Jai wanting those 6 credits. We see the score. Do we see a team sponsorship? There's not one there because I was going to say there's exactly 1 credit which would allow
just getting some sort of field
team sponsorship.
Trigger. And yeah, again installing so many cards with that trigger.
No, only 2.
Oh no.
So what's in the
Do we
hand?
just have agendas or something? Like,
I think you. Do you install it? I mean, you. You probably don't install too many.
Yeah, I kind of just want to install the nerve agent and run HQ.
Wow. You got to find a way of getting it first.
Yeah, that's the problem here. 100%.
Again, the wizard's been really good here, but actually, like stalling out on draw, it's questionable, you know, whether that was correct, but it's
yeah, the credit total has been helping a lot. Getting these incidental trashes here.
Like it's funny, like the moment that Jai became wizard was the time when off 15 actually managed to start setting up more of a board state.
Yeah.
Team
sponsorship just makes sense. Probably.
I think you leave it for now. I don't think Jai's scoring next. I don't think off 15's scoring next turn.
Could be. It does certainly feel like a bit challenging.
Yeah, maybe just go in HQ here, looking for.
I feel like plans to go HQ, then go archives after a still agenda.
Because we're at that magical 4 points, so we touch one more agenda, we can pretty safely just run archives for the win.
Yeah, also on 1 credit. So realistically, over 15 cannot like present a real threat for next turn specifically. At least I don't believe
for
so.
A credit here, so that we can. Okay, we're gonna use this rat money.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, that's still on 5, so like you're not getting it fed enough, but
nope.
You just give it like a small snack here.
Can you install multiple MK Ultras if there's 2 in bin?
Yeah. You can. That's also pretty funny.
Okay, so off 15 asking about resing here.
Yeah, so has to res 4 cards.
It has to res everything that's on the board to stop this going through, which maybe with a Mamba Temple is possible, but
yeah, Mamba Temple and another
unlikely.
Mamba Temple feels like a classic.
And we know 7 is okay.
Just one team sponsor. That actually doesn't do anything here.
Yeah, it costs an extra 3.
Yeah, I didn't see the Rashid rest first.
Yeah.
Yeah, having to go to 0 credits here hit you.
But obviously here the wizard just really doing some work. And I think you've still got an imp to use, right? So we're maybe... I think I'm running server 17 here, trashing the wage workers. Yeah,
It does look like it, yeah. Just get every single
exactly a
tempo piece
vanilla.
out. Rip the eye.
Still feeding the rat.
Yeah, definitely attached to this companion, so it doesn't want to leave
Yep.
it.
I think it's that point where you've of diminishing returns, where you've been doing it for so long. It's like the Fence of Fueno thing, where it's like I've paid 4 credits to keep this Fence of Fueno on board. So
Yeah, I'm not letting it
I'm
go
gonna
right
keep
now.
doing it.
And Jah has not been drawing for like 15 turns, just surviving on what we have had like before, and yeah, Blue Moose every turn getting
Yeah.
more and more credits. Now Blue Moose has been getting 26 credits. Cards definitely fair. Don't ask questions. And that's
oh, there we
game,
go.
I
That's
think.
it. That's game. Suffer Core. Run archives.
Could have a Sneaky Jackson on table.
I mean, I don't think we've got the
Yeah,
influence for it.
GG's.
There it is.
Oh,
and
also
there's another
efficiency
in there
committee
as
just
well.
discarded. Yeah, 49 minutes,
card
such a
Hive Mind
battle.
Max.
And realistically, it didn't feel like 15 had a chance at all at any point. Like basically, Nob Korea and Imp keeping the game closed down.
Yeah. Okay, we better zoom straight on ahead here.
Yeah, 100%. It's getting a bit late, and we can just hop on. 15 switching to a max deck.
Okay, paying max against Scorpios, the most terrifying matchup that you're ever gonna get, and I think shown by the I don't know if you noticed the runner text in the start there. It was it was specific for Max versus Scorp, and really quite funny. I mean, this is the one interesting thing here is that obviously if Jai chooses to Scorp the cards which are maxed, then you know that you can safely play your entire turn without having to worry about Scorpios triggering.
Yep.
So there's something there in terms of like an interesting play, but this certainly Devil Charm and Chisel. Okay, so very different sort of setup here.
Yeah, getting a chisel out of there instantly does make sense. I think Jai probably seeing from that it's running some sort of an ice destruction package. So yeah, just get rid of every single ice destruction card from that you see. Oh, we have crew and a cipher in there, so could like actually go and get in server 1 at least already.
No, I think you'd need an extra credit.
No, yeah, you do. Never mind.
Yeah, but just challenging here.
Yeah, just send it.
Knowing that Jai can't really res anything that's particularly scary on this board state, and if this is something like an ice wall, then or a border control, in fact, then it's just going to get deleted.
It could be a Cortex Lock and you die.
I'm going to put a large amount of money on the fact it's not a Cortex Lock.
Hey, don't bet with me. You know how that ends.
Hey, I've never won. I've never lost a bet against you. In this year.
Oh, that's fair. That's true. Oh, and the load-bearing regolith is showing up here.
That's suggesting that we can res both these pieces of ice though. So for 5 credits, otherwise you are not showing that regolith at that point. So
also,
5 credits.
Janet just clearly lying, calling Scorpio smart.
I think we're just going to see another raindrop straight.
I feel like you just like you have to keep this regolith mining license out of existence.
Yeah.
Firing doesn't want to use the crew on here.
Is regolith unique? It's not, is it?
It's not, yeah.
Sadly.
I think Jai's deck is pretty Brumormill proof.
Yeah, I think it's just the Jacksons and the Rashidas.
Yeah, and Tucan, I believe also.
Okay.
but like the main ideas, I think. Oh, Marcus Batty as well. So yeah, actually
Oh
not
yeah. Okay.
that proof. The thing just is that
It's
you
got a
play
lot of
like
agendas, though.
you play standoffs and everything that you are actually able to push up off instantly after opponent actually puts the agenda down.
Absolutely. R15 drawing a lot of cards here. This probably wants to install this parasite, I feel. Let's see if that actually happens. Yeah. Like again, this is the best way to deal with Scorpios is to overwhelm it with like trash abilities.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
this is power shutdown here, absolutely coming in. Power shutdown used as it was intended, as a trash a program card.
Yeah, basically.
And I think we're seeing probably a Spin Doctor or a Jackson indeed.
Yeah, do we see instantly popping this Jackson? Is the question.
Possibly,
Ashen, I feel
yep,
like they're getting deleted
yep.
insta. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, Ashen's not a card which is ever going to stick around. Okay, so that's actually huge because that means that this Ice Wall survives for at least one more turn. But yeah, like essentially the. Oh, this is interesting here. So yeah, so. Okay, no, this isn't actually the play I thought that R15 was going to make. I thought he might reduce the strength of the ice wall with the crew, and then save Cipher for the other piece of ice.
Can still take the attack and clear this as well, but then
Yeah.
cannot actually trash the regolith.
Yeah, which is awkward, but
asking for action.
Trying to force it out, knowing that he's not going to be able to deal with it if he gets in.
Yeah. And I don't think there probably isn't too much of attack punishment. So I would assume that we just don't need to clear the attack this turn, but
I mean, the problem is, like, if he happens to be on a single copy of Retribution, you're about to lose your Cipher.
yeah, that would definitely suck.
So it's just maybe a bit too risky.
Time to play.
Unlikely, but it does say trash a card on it.
We could see something like Wake Up Call. That could be an option to play.
Oh, I like it. Although you probably just trash your hand. That's just as good for Jai.
Yeah, then you just
you remove a crew. Now, really importantly, so last turn we did have this kind of turn where we managed to overwhelm the Scorp deck as max because the Ashen got deleted very early, and so the crew and the parasite both survived, as in they are still in the heap to potentially come back. Lots of recursion already in the heap, though.
There are, but like you don't need that much of it, at least. And like you can recur in the recursion, which kind of fixes itself. Like you just need one employee strike, not employee strike, the labor rights in a correct spot.
Jai playing the Friends here. Friends has been a very useful card for these Scorp decks, particularly if they have to deal with ice trashing decks just to get back their stuff.
The card just does so much just by itself.
I think Jai probably doesn't really want to Scorp this crowdfunding.
Yeah, not really. Like crowdfunding, not the thing. This deck is really much more about trashing the ice than actually being able to get credits and win with those and crowdfunding.
I mean, interestingly, so currently Max doesn't have a way of stealing SDSs, and we know that there's going to be free SDSs in this deck.
Yeah, I would assume that we see a program at some point. Oh, but you don't want to see that. But...
I think we're just going to make the free runs here.
Yeah, just get
the crowdfundings, because we're going to be able to install 2.
Yeah, it does feel pretty good.
But Jai, not in a terrible space here. He's about to draw a border control. We might see a jam. No, just protecting. Got 1 card in the remote. Could be a Rashida, could be the Marcus Batty, which we saw earlier.
Could totally be. And our 15-15 kind of stuck here, I think, again.
Double medium. Actually, this, I mean, take the crowdfundings out and actually take half of it out. But off 15 at EMEA last year was playing an Ice Destruction medium deck, which was pretty interesting as part of the throwback tournament.
Yeah, our 15-15 definitely a long time Ice Destruction enjoyer. I think in Standard also playing quite a similar deck for a long while. Did make like CBI top something, I think. Was it the Showdown tournament like 2 weeks earlier or something? I don't remember that well. Getting Jackson online. Drawing up. Feel like are we running for Econ or just like Ice remote and start doing something there? It's currently kind of like sitting empty, not really doing anything, which is not fun.
Yeah, exactly. I think right here we're just actually looking for something to force an issue, because currently off 15 is at a sort of tricky level. He can obviously deal with exactly 1 ice without too much issue. We're going to have money coming in, but the Scorp just needs to start pushing ahead a little bit before the Max can really get rolling. Jai's also probably really looking for something, an ice which is maybe a bit meaner. We've only really seen little barriers so far.
Yeah, none of these actually have a phase check. I think that's a classic Wayland problem. Like, although we do have like Titanium, which is a big one that could blow people up.
I mean, ideally, you'd like Hagen to be 2 influence so that you could play Hagens and Typhoniums and do stuff with that, but it always feels quite awkward. Oh, and we're seeing the rumor mill here. No pop from Jai. We're getting stuff stolen. Now that might not be the worst thing from Jai's perspective.
No, I think that's fine realistically.
Have Hunter Seekers in hand, and we're gonna have one by now, surely. Do we see this
Seeker on the
Cipher go?
I think it probably is the Cipher, and then you Hunter Seeker it. Other option is this Arusera's crew.
Yeah.
That also could be, but I think Cipher just costs more, and then you are dead on the second Hunter Seeker. I think you probably just play 2. Okay, you probably play 3 Ciphers, but
yeah, I think certainly this deck, which appears to, I don't know if we've seen any kids yet. I think it's all Ice Destruction.
Yeah, I think it's Ice Destruction currently. There probably is going to be some at some point, like an Omakua or something, the classic Ice Destruction. I'll just put this in here to deal with all my ice.
Yeah, I mean, the points might be an issue there. We're on crowdfunding. That's 2 points. Cipher is 1 or 2, 1 maybe. And Room Mill is 3. So that's a lot of points already gone. And we did indeed lose we lost the crew. to a hunter seeker.
Yeah, it's interesting that we go for the crew instead of the cipher here. I guess it's like take the means of ice destruction, not the enabler.
Yeah, I mean I think also you really want to. Uh, it's tricky. You either like if you can delete all 3 ciphers, then you're probably doing all right. But until you get all 3 ciphers, you can never quite be sure. So you might just be better taking out the tools one by one, knowing they can't come back. You're somewhat more confident. Also, like crew actually is like your biggest problem because the parasites and the other one, the new parasite, can't
Concordum? You mean?
deal standoff. Can't deal with Typhonium, whereas crew can. So
oh yeah, that's
we
true.
might be seeing that as an issue here. Also, we also have Devil Charms, so there's like the additional, like if you get rid of a cipher, then off 15 might just install a Devil Charm, install another cipher.
Yeah, then fucking somebody like instantly deletes everything. Like we see probably another Hunter Seeker soon coming down. Yeah, 100%. Arcera's crew getting trashed again. And already 4 ice destruction pieces left out, probably from the 6 or something. 7 or something we have in the deck.
Yeah, and there are 4 cards left in its max deck.
Yeah.
There is 1 card left in its max deck, and unless it's some really good recursion piece, off 15 is incredibly close to getting locked out here. Incredibly close. And again, it has to have programs to be able to steal the SDSs which are in this deck. I mean, you don't have to win, but you have to find most of the other agendas if you don't. We're assuming Jai is still on 44 cards here, but he might have gone up to 49. I'm doing some quick maths. 36, 57, 8, 9. Yeah, I think 44.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, same old thing, but I'm not sure what same old thing's getting right now with the Ashen gone from the game.
Yeah,
there were no other recursion events.
Yeah, it feels like it's like quite tough here already. Do we have Katorga for something?
Yeah, so we can do same old thing for Katorga, and I kind of think, well, the big question now is, can you?
Yeah.
If Jai puts an ice on archives,
it might be pretty tough. I think then you have to. Oh, yeah, Parasite is also just on rest ice. I always forget that. Instant events. And deleting the last rumor mill.
Yep. No, it's still one. There's one in hand. One in hand.
Oh yeah,
so
100%.
Whether R15 just wants to snap that down or not.
Yeah, probably kind of has to, I would assume.
I mean, Jai will have pretty good information here, knowing that the last rumor mill must be in hand. There's 0% chance that off 15's only playing 2.
Yeah. Yeah, you pay 3. You pay 3 eternal points. You want to have it.
Yeah. We've probably got to get the crew here. I feel like the play here is you pick up the crew and then you wait. Oh, clone chip is interesting.
It is. It probably will just get like it's. I don't just see there being enough accesses here during the game.
I mean, what R15 is setting up for here is install medium, run R&D.
Yeah,
think.
that's
But
like
the-
one really big dig turn, and after that is over,
Yeah.
the game is closed.
But the problem here with getting clone chip over crew
Mm.
is that if this ice on R&D happens to be Typhonium, then we're pretty stuck.
Yeah,
So we're gonna see if R15 has considered that. Jai
thinking.
considering sculpting this casts? Surely not.
I think them. No, I think we are thinking about the Jackson Howard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Hunter Seeker's going back in.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of small agendas in here. Jai also on hostile takeovers now from other builds. So we've got about 9 little one pointers,
Yeah.
which can be problematic when you're playing Hunter Seeker.
There's the Arsaris crew. The problem is you can't get everything installed on the same turn.
Yeah, you need like a hyperdrive turn or something here.
Yeah, that would be pretty gas though.
Maybe I need to look at like hyperdriver plus medium in Shaper again.
Mm.
We're seeing this is so here we can just trash the clone chip. Have we just we trashed one.
Yeah, that's so mean.
These power shutdowns have been insane. So good.
Yeah, that's so toxic.
There's also like the really fun combo here where Jai's playing Power Shutdown and Friends in High Places, which is like this really cool kind of it's pseudo tutoring. Like you power shut down several cards off the top of your deck and then you just install the ones which you want with friends. Really, really fun little interaction.
And yeah, I think we now probably just need to go and dig R&D and hope. Not installing the medium first. Oh, border control is kinda rough though. I don't think you actually see for this one. I think the plan is to install Parasite and then go back. Are we doing that though? Thinking about it. Oh, just deciding to go HQ instead. Oh, I think my co-commentator's laptop died. Sadly, it's a bit late, so we're continuing onward, and Bart joins if the laptop decides to turn back online again. Oh, SDS. Not stealing.
Okay, hopefully I'm back.
You are back. You missed a
had
interesting SDS access, but you didn't have a program in that time. Oh, eminent domain! I think that's game over basically.
Good
Yeah,
out. Over installing. Yeah, so rude.
Oh, but still can go and access, I think, 3 cards here.
Okay. And we can steal an SDS.
Yeah,
Only one though. Maybe installing second
friends.
medium was an option.
I don't think you get more access that standoff. Oh no.
Okay, well, I mean, you get to dig deeper, friends, Batty.
Yeah, the problem is I think that Jai will have one ice here and it's over.
Where he's got a friends in high places. We know he's got an ice because there's one in archives.
Yeah, 100% hedge. Install and friends going and probably like double icing R&D. And I think that's the game
Yeah,
basically
just in
locked.
case.
You never, yeah, and 15-15 conceding the match.
Tifonia coming in, gas for concession. I've got to put the card of the match down to being power shutdown.
Yeah, it did a lot.
I
think.
feel
I mean, I think it's just Scorpius. Like the ID just destroys the matchup. I think. If your deck's
yeah,
idea is to recur all these like ice destruction pieces, and then you get like hit them out of the deck instantly. Like yeah, Jai just saying nightmare matchup. I couldn't agree more.
I
Alright,
mean,
I think we have the results for this week, or like the new standings. I can show them for a
okay.
bit.
Yeah, let's see.
So I think that was the first week. All 50-50 actually got swept. So Toron and Jai and Augustus, everybody on back of everyone's heels here. It
Let me see
Oh,
if I
Toron
can.
has one more game played. Yeah, oh 15-15 still like Toron still has to get the bye week, which is going to be challenging in keeping in back in this race.
Right, yeah,
And yet,
yeah, that's pretty huge.
oh 15
But
15 only played. And
Jai really putting himself back in the running here with a sweep over off 15 there.
yeah, I
So
think Augustus and
he's
Jai both getting really important victories this week if they are competing for the
absolutely.
victory of the tournament series.
And I think if I'm correct, they are facing off against each other next week. I'm pretty sure that's
looking at round 8. I think it's Jai versus Haver of Fun, Silent Arbiter versus Augustus Caesar, Larea versus O15-15, and Vren versus Toron. So definitely an interesting week next week. I think we're probably jumping off. Daylight savings is going to kill me tomorrow at work,
yeah.
and I would prefer to go to sleep. You got any last words?
No, it's some great games as always, and I just think everyone should pop back next week for more ESL fun.
Yeah, 100%. Alright. See everybody next weekend.
Ciao for
And
now.
please survive the daylight savings time. This system is so bad. Alright, see ya.